NBL25. Will it be the Illawarra Hawks looking for their first championship in 23 years? Or will Melbourne United be buoyed by last year's loss in Game 5 of the series and be able to turn the tables this year and hang yet another banner in their storied but somewhat short history compared to the great club, the Illawarra Hawks? Peter Hooley and Leonard Copeland, Game 5. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It doesn't get better than this.
It doesn't. I mean, let's do it one more time. What an unbelievable regular season. What an unbelievable playoffs it's been. None of the history matters. None of the stats matter. Whoever wants to be a champion is 40 minutes away. 2 hours of real time, 40 minutes of hoops. I can't wait.
And they've had 4 games to figure it all out. The offenses, defenses, none of that means anything. It's about your heart now. Who wants it the most? Who's going to play the right way? Who's going to play the smartest will win this game.
That's it, Leonard Copeland. You're a 2-time champion in this league. You know how it's done and you know how it feels to lose one last year like Melbourne United are coming into this game. And we'll tap into that intel in just a moment. But right now, let's see how these teams got here. Both of them took the hard way, and it was the home teams who got the wins in both series.
Well, it's starting to get really loud in here inside the Win Entertainment Centre, but you're right. We've gone the full distance in all of the playoffs, semi-finals, everyone won in the home, and then championship series. Someone's going to have to win a home game eventually, you think. But again, Melbourne United are saying, you know what? We play better on the road. Let's go into a hostile environment and get it done.
2 of the smartest coaches in the league, first versus second. They know what they're doing. Come on, fellas, give us a good game.
You can hear the Illawarra chants are ringing out already, but let's transport back to Game 4. It was a remarkable win for the Illawarra Hawks. Froling goes down just before halftime, a snapped Achilles. He will take no part in this game, an integral part for the Hawks.
Oh, brutal to see. Such a key figure, not just what they do on the floor, but in the locker room, one of Australia's brightest young big men, brightest young stars, about to be a free agent. And they went over and celebrated with him as this Hawks crowd continues to raise. He's sitting on the sideline. You know he's still going to have a massive part in this game.
And you have to give Illawarra a lot of credit, man. When you lose Froling and no Kell, and they still managed to go on the road and get a win, that's a big effort.
Will Hickey and Lockie Albrook, who we're going to see a whole lot of tonight, they stepped up in the second half and won that game for Illawarra. They're going to need to replicate that sort of brilliance tonight. And you've got to say, it starts with the probable, if Illawarra win, finals MVP in Will Hickey.
Will Hickey's been fantastic over the last couple of games, averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds. But it's the way he's playing. He's playing with the smarts now, the back doors. He gets guys involved. He has that little nice runner beat. He gets guys going. And look, he's infectious because he plays good defense on the other end. I'd love to be playing with him.
And at times it's been a little erratic, a little out of control. I thought in this game in particular, his poise down the stretch was exceptional. Trey played like a true pro, picked his moments and just picked apart on the other end. Him, Lockie Albrook, normally part of the bench unit together. They're both going to have a huge say in how this game plays out. And Lockie Albrook is so fun to watch. He's going to be relied upon even more without Froling, and he's capable of it.
Some of the best footwork I've seen for a young guy, man. And in this game in particular, he was special down the line. I mean, going to him inside will be great if he can stay out of foul trouble, averaging 13 points a game. I'd love to see him play well.
Well, if you're an Illawarra Hawks fan and you're worried about the absence of Sam Froling, you take a look at these numbers, because in the second half especially, it was these 2 young guns that stepped up.
It was, and again, Justin Tatum's not afraid to throw his bench out there altogether if he has to. He keeps telling us that at practice they beat up on the starters, so it's not a surprise. They're both going to have to do it again, which is normally the hardest thing.
One of the Hawks all NBL first-team guards in Trey Kell. He did not take part in Game 4, but from all the word, he's taken part tonight. How long will he play? How much will he play? What sort of percentage is he sitting at, Leonard?
Well, look, at the end of the day, he didn't play last game, and they were able to do it. They got it done. You definitely need him, though. You need him to be at 100%, but if he's not, give us 80%. Give us 2%. Give us something, Kell.
Well, he was limping to come out to the start of warm-ups, and then as the warm-ups continue to progress, that limp is gone, so he looks like he's going to be near enough 100% to go.
Leonard, I want to go to you here, because you've tasted defeat twice in a championship series. The next year, you came back and won. What's the hangover like for Melbourne? They were in Game 5 last year, and they blew it. They're facing that again this year.
You better believe they're thinking about it. You better believe it. You don't want to be one of those teams that lose 2 years in a row. And Melbourne United have some veteran guys. They know how to get it done, but it just depends on how well Illawarra come in here and play at home.
They lost 2 clinching games to win a championship on their home floor. Wednesday just gone, and last year against Tasmania, in front of their home crowd, which was sold out and crazy atmosphere. That's going to sting. And right now, they've got to have a trouble with scoring the ball. This place is going to be hostile, but we do talk about the Wynn Entertainment Centre, the best venue to shoot at. You just feel like Melbourne United have one more swing in them offensively.
Look, it's that mentality, us against the world. You can hear the crowd now. There's probably 5 or 6 people in here from Melbourne United. Everybody else is going for the Hawks. And generally, when you have superstars and veterans, you play better like that because everyone's going against you.
Speaking of superstars and veterans in the same sentence, Chris Goulding is yet this series to have an explosion game. Now, cometh the moment, cometh the man. We've said it time and time again throughout his career. If Melbourne United want to win this championship on the road, you think it's got to go through his hands.
Well, it's very unlike us not to see him have one of these breakout games in a 5-game series. He still has one more opportunity to do that. The positive for Melbourne United is they've also shown that he doesn't need it for them to get a win. They have enough other talent to do it. Wani Swakala-Bullock's done an excellent one-on-one job, but they've done it as a team. They've got to try and do it one more time because a champion like that doesn't stay down for too long.
In Game 5, you need a superstar. You need a hero. And this guy fits that bill quite nicely. Look, I got to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. Back doors, post him up, whatever it takes, high pick and roll, let him shoot the ball as many times as he wants, because you know if he knocks down 1 or 2, it could be very easily be 8 or 9.
And Pete, a massive credit to Wani Swakala-Bullock, who's played fantastic defense on CG the entire series, but it's all worth nothing if he doesn't replicate it tonight.
Yeah, spot on. I think he's done a tremendous job one-on-one. The teammates have helped him for sure, but he's just growing as an elite defender. But you're right. If you let Chris Goulding go and do one of the performances in big games we've seen historically, everyone's going to forget how good you did in the 4 games prior.
Well, Dean Vickerman has been here and done that. He's won championships, he's lost championships. Joe Healy caught up with him a little bit earlier.
Dino, how are you feeling? Obviously, you were in this position last year. It didn't turn out how you wanted to, but you've got yourself to another Game 5 of a championship series. Talk me through the emotions and what's going through your mind right now.
Yeah, obviously proud to get back here and give ourselves a chance to try and do it again or do it a little bit better. And so, yeah, just happy for all this group to get this opportunity tonight.
You've obviously had an opportunity to dissect Game 4. Can you describe, it felt like something was missing. Were you able to sort of put your finger on it coming into tonight?
Yeah, I think so. What we did in Game 3 with really slowing the game down and taking those possessions away, and I think we doubled down on it a little bit too much and really tried to slow down things, and it becomes such a grind. So we need to trust everybody a little bit more, get more ball movement, and just flow into our offense better.
Obviously, you've been missing Shea for the last couple of games. Still TBC as to whether he will feature today. But can you just describe sort of his energy around the group and how the guys have been responding to that?
Yeah, I really challenged him through this period to really be vocal in meetings and make sure if he sees anything about how we guard Harvey and what he can add to other people. And so he's been great with that. His progress has been really solid. So, yeah, we hope to see him out there tonight.
Rebounding seems to have been a bit of a barometer over this series. I know Marcus was really disappointed with his performance in Game 4. Have you been able to talk to him and sort of just give us any insight in terms of what he can bring tonight?
Yeah, it's been a massive part of this series. Rebounding, winning loose balls, allowing yourself to get more possession. And so, we've got a marker that we want to try and hit tonight, and hopefully we can get there.
Awesome. Good luck for it. Can't wait.
Thank you.
You start talking Mount Rushmore with Dean Vickerman if he can get the job done tonight. One of the most storied coaches we've seen in this league. Now let's start chatting the stars. Who gets it done? Everything's on the line at Game 5. Someone who's been there before in the NBA and put in a heroic performance. He's probably the series MVP if Melbourne can get it done. Matthew Dellavedova.
Not probably. He would be, because he's done everything right. He's gotten guys involved. He's playing bully ball, and no one can guard him. He makes that little turnaround on the inside. But the thing that I love about him is he's getting guys involved. 7 assists a game. He's been fantastic.
Now, we don't know what Jack White's going to rock up, and it probably tells who's going to win this game. A lot to come out of the big fella.
Yeah, I put it down all series, really. If Jack White shows up to the level he's capable of, Melbourne United win the game, especially without Sam Froling. When he's aggressive, we saw what he did when he came out here in Game 3, had a game-high 20 points, but it's the aggression, the mindset, because that translates onto the defensive end where he can be really dominant as well. So if he's in his shell, I don't think Melbourne United can get this win.
The most interesting one on this list, because we've seen how good he can be. And whether he's shooting poorly or he's shooting well, he's going to keep throwing them up. Ian Clark, another NBA champion, a wealth of experience at the championship level throughout this roster. But Ian Clark is one of those guys you really think they're going to look to, especially late.
Absolutely. And we've seen him score heaps of points. 38 against Perth. I think he had 31 and 32 against these guys. We know he can get hot. And when you got him on the side with Chris Golding, it's hard to stop both of those guys.
Well, for the Illawarra Hawks, looking to do it on their home floor. Tyler Harvey, all-NBL first team, one of the most exciting players in the league. He's going to have to bring it tonight.
Well, he's more than capable of doing it. Again, we talk about Chris Golding being a game breaker. Tyler Harvey can put up 20 points and a half. He can put up 15 points in a quarter. When he gets hot, you've got to try and run him off the three-point line. He gets to that floater. He's got the best floater in the Southern Hemisphere. It's that beautiful to watch. And he's a really potent and prolific scorer, and the Hawks are going to back him to get it done today.
Leonard Copeland, I throw Darius Days in the same category as Jack White in terms of we don't know at all what we're going to get from them, but when they're on, they're dominant.
Absolutely, and he has to play multiple positions tonight. No falling. He has to play big. He can play small, but he needs to stay out of foul trouble. He's averaging 10 points and six rebounds, but he needs to be bigger than that tonight. He needs to go inside and post some guys up and shoot the three.
He was exceptional in Game 4 as well, so he's going to have another test ahead of him. And then you've got some guys who you can sprinkle in, like a Todd Blanchfield, who can come in and just light it up. He can hit 4 threes in a quarter, and all of a sudden the Illawarra Hawks go from potentially a deficit to in front or further push their lead out. So Todd Blanchfield, a veteran, loves big moments. He'll be a key one to watch as well.
Well, he's an NBL veteran on this Hawks roster, that's for sure. He's going to look to lead them. Trey Kell, we mentioned off the top there, we don't know whether he's at 50%. We don't know whether he's at 100%. Is he going to play 20 minutes? Is he going to play 40? Well, no matter how long he spends out there, he's going to have to shoot well.
He is, and again, we've seen what he can do. And again, we know what the bench is, but to tick the scoreboard over without Froling, this is why you're all NBL first teamers. You're 2 of the best 5 players in the regular season, but it all comes down to this. If you step up and win a championship, that's what people will remember more so than the all NBL first team.
Well, let's hear it directly from him, because Joe Healy caught up with him a little bit earlier.
Trey, Game 5 today, huge occasion. Great to have you back in the lineup. Can you talk through how your knee is feeling and how you're feeling emotionally as well, given the occasion?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good. I think just a quick turnaround and some extra days of, letting it kind of rest a little bit helps me out. Emotionally, I feel good. It was tough to sleep. I felt like that Game 4 win, watching it, kind of gave my knee a little bit of a boost that it needed. But, yeah, I'm excited to be back and looking forward to today.
Arguably the toughest win of the season for the group. But watching on from the sidelines, did you learn anything about the team, or what did you see out there?
Not necessarily. It was kind of expected, to be honest. We've had a team like this all year where, I've missed a few games before, and we've been able to get some victories as well. And everyone kind of knows. No one tries to play outside of themselves. They just do what they do best. And, Game 4, we did that and came out with a really, really tough win.
Obviously, no Sam today. What have the coaches spoken to you about in terms of helping the other guys, your Lockie, Mason, Darius, get involved and you finding them and giving them that chance to have a big impact?
Yeah, I think it's just not trying to overthink it. Obviously, we wish the best for Sam, and obviously we'll miss him a lot. But at the same time, it's just not trying to fill in, what Sam would do for us, and just trying to do the best that you can and maybe a little bit more. So at the same time, I know I'll try to help out the guys as much as I can throughout the game, but at the same time, just everyone stick to, what got us here, and just do that to the best of your capability, and I think, that should be able to get us over the hump.
All right, all the best today.
Thank you.
The seats are filling up. The superstars are here. Game 5, the decider. One team leaves a champion 22 minutes away.
It's our time, Illawarra. We've waited over 20 years for this day. It's here. We're about to witness history. We boast of our historic championship winning 2001 team here in the stands watching on. Let's all rise together and bring this home. Let's go, Hawks.
Trey Kell is not playing. He's ruled out with a knee injury. Now you turn to Davo Hickey and say, I need 30 minutes.
Froling gets Hickey involved early. Will Hickey can make things happen. Hickey pulls the trigger, 2 of 8 on Sunday. Big one for Will Hickey. News is not good for Illawarra and Sam Froling.
They all but confirm that he has done his Achilles.
I don't think they have enough offense. I don't think they can win it.
Hickey left alone. It goes! End-to-end stuff. Will Hickey making a name for himself on the big stage once again. Will Hickey continues to have a big say in Game 4. Extra pass for Hickey was good and the finish even better. Will Hickey is the game's leading scorer. Will Hickey has been everywhere. Davo Hickey with authority. Was told no by Melbourne, was told no by South East Melbourne. Took his chance with the Illawarra Hawks.
He is their go-to guy.
Davo Hickey just refused to quit. You can't teach experience, you also can't teach heart. Truly an inspiring effort.
Two vastly different career storylines. Dellavedova, an NBA champion, a prodigy from a young age, and Will Hickey, a guy who has fought and clawed his way to the professional level. Both of them in the running for the finals MVP. A truly astounding story on every level. But right now, all thanks to basketball.com.au, time to welcome Joe Healy. And Joe, quite a hostile week when it comes to NBL news.
Yeah, that's right, Felix. Big news off the court this week. It was reported by ESPN that Hawks owner Jared Novelli has contacted the NBL owners and proposed a 10-team buyout. Larry Kesselman, the owner of the NBL, released a statement categorically saying that the NBL is not for sale. Tensions have been brewing behind the scenes for quite some time now. I can tell you that both men are in the building. As you can see there, they walked past me just a short time ago and had a gentleman's handshake. So hopefully we can put that all behind us for this game tonight. I've spoken to the Hawks. They see that it's a completely separate issue, that it's not a distraction. How do you guys see it?
Well, I'll tell you what, and I think it says in clear writing down the bottom there, as Larry Kesselman has stated and many stakeholders have stated, the NBL is not for sale. When Larry took over this league, it was on its knees. It is now a powerhouse. Teams that were worth $2 million are now selling for $35 million and upwards. Talks of a hostile takeover. We've been here a long time. Some people are new to the league and they haven't seen the blood, sweat and tears that it's taken to get to this level. And whatever happens here, I hope the respect of the certain people that have gotten this league to where it's at is not lost on anyone.
Yeah, well said. I came out of college 10 years ago, went to sign with the Crocs folded, and I was told the NBL was no longer going to survive. So I had to go to Europe. I come back a decade later, teams are selling for that, the fans are packing it out. The NBL's not just surviving, it's thriving, and one man took a chance on that, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this great league.
We're on a strong upward trajectory, and that is going to continue. And again, the NBL is not for sale. Sam Froling, of course, the injury in Game 4, heartbreaking for him. How do the Hawks bounce back here?
Yeah, absolutely devastating news for Sam Froling, as we saw in Game 4. As you can see there, though, he seems in good spirits. I spoke to him before the game. He's riding the momentum and the adrenaline of this city, just like all the fans are here. It's all over the radio. There are black and red balloons around the city. He is the Hawks' #1 fan here tonight. The guys are playing for themselves, but they also want to play for Sam. He'll be one of their biggest supporters out there.
Well, Joe, we don't really know what's happening with Trey Kell. Is he 100%? Is he 50%? But it looks like he's taking part.
Yeah, Trey is out there tonight. I spoke to him just before. He said he's feeling good. He did admit, he said, look, sitting on the sidelines for Game 4, I feel like I'm really grateful obviously in the absence of Sam, they're going to need Trey to sort of find their second string of bigs out there, guys.
I think Damon Lowry said it best as well. This is game 5 now. You've got everything to play for. If you don't win a championship, you're not going to say that the season's a failure, but you take all the pain meds you can, and for 40 minutes of basketball, you just grind your teeth because there's no tomorrow either way, but you want to finish this season as a champion.
Willis Reed has returned. Come on, man. At the end of the day, you don't get to this place a lot. And when you do, you have to take advantage. And I think he needs a big game tonight just to make sure these guys can win.
Well, the other player on that same spectrum, Shea Healy, Joe Healy, we've seen him walking around. Still no major word if he's going to be out there?
No, he was out there warming up. He was suited and booted, and I can confirm that the club have said he will play tonight. He's obviously missed 2 games with concussion. It wasn't the most convincing yes that he'll be out there, but at this stage, it's looking good, guys.
Well, Shea Healy certainly a big piece for this United team.
He is. I mean, you talk about the heart and soul. Interesting, him being available to play and potentially actually playing could be 2 different things.
Perfect. Well, we are not far from tip-off. Here is getting loud. The Illawarra chants are ringing loud and clear. Game 5, the decider, not far away.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Who will win the NBL's 47th title? Illawarra, Melbourne, let's go! Golding pulls up for 3 and drops a big one from the corner. The second seed with an upset in game 1. Melbourne come to Wollongong, smack the Hawks in the face and steal home court advantage.
The Illawarra Hawks down 1-0 in the championship series. What a momentum shift we've seen. And if Tyler Harvey gets going, then they are going to have some real headaches. All eyes are on Illawarra now. 10.4 seconds left. Inbound to Harvey. 7 seconds left. He pulls the trigger. Big shot taker. Big shot maker. Illawarra win game 2 in the most dramatic fashion. The series locked away at 1 apiece. Game 3 is underway. Dellavedova trying to put Melbourne in front. He does. It'll have to be Delhi now. He persisted all the way and scores.
Dellavedova, what a quarter he is having.
Huge from Melbourne United. A monumental Game 3 win.
Melbourne United lead 2-1. Will they leave John Cain champions? Or will Illawarra, with their backs against the wall, force this to a Game 5 decider?
Horrible news from an Illawarra perspective. No Trey Kell. He won't be out there tonight. Sam Froling went to try and run it off. It's a big, big worry for the Hawks. Nice pass
pass inside.
Great control there by Hickey.
Harvey for three. Oh, wow! Once again, smashes Melbourne in the face. The Illawarra Hawks are headed home with the series tied at 2 apiece.
The roller coaster that is an NBL Championship Series has one more stop, and it's the Wynn Entertainment Centre with this rowdy and rabid at times crowd. But let's just cross over to a couple of Illawarra superstars themselves in Brad Rosen and Matt Russell, who are going to be taking you through this one courtside, doing a fantastic job throughout the entire season, and it culminates in this one, fellas. A Game 5 is going to be absolutely amazing. So let's throw it over our boys now.
Felix, good afternoon to you and to everybody watching. 10 minutes from tip-off, Brad Rosen, and this joint is already in a frenzy. It is wild in here already. A stark contrast to what we saw here 2 years ago when the Hawks had their worst ever season. Only the 3 wins. They were struggling to get 1,500 people through the door. What an amazing turnaround.
Oh, Matty, it's such a privilege to be here. The 2 greatest sport words in sport right now. Game 5. This crowd, I reckon an hour before they were outside chanting. You can hear this. It's 5,500 people, and they are ready to roar. It's so great.
Joe Healy has had the team news already. Trey Kell to come off the Illawarra bench. Shea Ili to come off the Melbourne bench. We know Sam Froling is out with that Achilles, and we know that Melbourne need a reset after being beaten on their home floor in Game 4. So talk to me about the resets you predict from both clubs.
Look, to me, I think both clubs have been great where they've bounced back well, but it's been up and down all season, and that's exactly what it's going to be again. I have no doubt this game, I can't predict anything, Matt. No one knows what's going to happen. It's not quarter by quarter, it's minute by minute, and the winner wins the chip.
Yeah, and maybe there's a big moment to be owned by the ultimate championship winner. You identified a key moment in Game 4 that illustrates how every moment really does matter.
It does, and that's the NBL slogan, isn't it? Moments that matter. And Dellavedova goes down and misses what most times he would make. They come down the other end, and Darius Davies hits that big 3. For me, there will be a moment today. I don't know when it's coming. It could be Melbourne, it could be Illawarra, but it'll be that moment when someone hits that big shot, dives out of bounds, hits someone on a rebound and grabs what is needed, or a tip-in dunk. Today, we will be talking about whatever happens in this moment for the next 6 months. And who's it going to be, Matty? Is it Illawarra or is it Melbourne?
More people, Brad, have watched the Illawarra Hawks this season than in any of the prior 46 seasons of their existence. The only foundation club, a constant through 47 seasons of NBL. And Felix, as I go back to you, maybe the sandpit this afternoon will be as loud as it has ever been.
Oh, we certainly know that'll be the case, but we are 4 games down, 1 to go. Coaching, it's more important than ever, and we're left with 2 of the best in the league. Let's start off with you, Leonard. Justin Tatum's whiteboard.
No, I got Dean Vickerman.
Oh, you can take Dean Vickerman then if you want.
Now, you got to get CG43 going. You got to get him some easy shots. You got to get him some back doors. You got to get him some post up. Whatever you need, get him the ball as much as you can, because he's going to be you need him to go well in this game. Secondly, and in order for these guys to win, White, you got to have White, Low, and Lee play big. There's no Froling. They need to rebound. They need to block shots. They need to do it all. Get themselves going. And thirdly, you got to take the crowd out. No bad shots, no running around. Take the crowd out.
Well, for Tatum, and again, it's the opposite, right, in terms of the crowd. You want to embrace the moment. You understand what the magnitude of the moment. It's been 24 years since you've been in this position. Control the tempo, have it your way. If you want to play fast, get the crowd behind you, continue to push the pace. Full court pressure was the key in Game 4. They didn't let Delhi take it any second off. Shea Ili's back. It doesn't matter who's bringing the ball up. Get up and in. In the end, it's 40 minutes. Sleep tomorrow. It's all on the line.
40 minutes away from one of these teams being crowned a champion. The Illawarra Hawks, it's been a long time between drinks since they've hung a banner. For Melbourne United, a rich history in their somewhat short history as a club. 2 of the best coaches in the league, all NBL players, left, right and centre. That man right there, CG43, but it is Game 5. Only one team will leave the champion.
It's been a series befitting of the best 2 teams in the NBL. Blow for blow from the opening tip in Game 1. Tonight, with the richest prize in Australian basketball on the line, it is Melbourne United 2-1 advantage. Is it Melbourne United cutting down the net? What are the Hawks taking home on Sunday? Hawks have made Sam Froling the focal point early. He has been outstanding all series long.
Matthew Dellavedova knocks a 3-ball of his own.
And we've got ourselves a real battle here at John Cain.
It's a big, big worry for the Hawks. He's the heart and soul of this Illawarra team, and his series is done. It's been an enormous effort from the visitors to still be in this game and to still be leading. The roar from John Cain Arena. Harvey, it goes! Down 2-1 in the championship series. The Hawks playing for their season. Golding, back-to-back threes. They've been melting late in games. Can they hang tough tonight? Will Hickey continues to have a big say in game 4. Darius Days buries one. The home team with their backs against the wall now. Harvey for 3. Oh, wow! Yeah. Tyler Harvey once again smashes Melbourne in the face. Momentum squarely in favour of Illawarra right now. John Cain Arena has been silenced. A win full of grit and determination, and against all the odds, the Illawarra Hawks are headed home on Sunday in one of the most extraordinary wins in franchise history. It has been a championship series that will live forever, and that's just the first 4 games. Today, in the 5th and final game, the decider to crown the NBL25 champions, the Illawarra Hawks, the little engine that could, who have led all season long against one of the powerhouses of Australian basketball in Melbourne United. The Win Entertainment Centre sold out in less than 60 seconds. It is loud, it is hostile, it is everything that you would want it to be for Game 5. Wherever you're joining us around the world, so great to have your company. I'm Jack Heverin, Derek Rucker, and the GOAT Andrew Gaze alongside me. It is our honour and privilege, Andrew Gaze, to be here on an occasion like this.
Yeah, what an atmosphere. I've never heard a gym so loud in my time in the NBL. It's full of emotion and full of expectation as well. Yes, Jason Tatum has had some challenges along the way. No teammate being able to get a home win, but no Sam Froling. That is a big hurdle to overcome. But this season and this series has thrown up a whole bunch of different variables, and who knows how this is going to pan out.
And this is the question, Derek Rucker, welcome to you. Who will buck the trend? As you saw there, Illawarra have lost 8 of their last 9 finals following a win. For Melbourne United, who lost on Wednesday at home, they have won each of their last 5 games following an L.
And that's been the strength of this program. Dean Vickerman, one of the greatest coaches in NBL history, needs this championship badly to reestablish himself. He is fantastic in getting his team planned properly for big moments. Defensively, they've been outstanding throughout the series, but on the offensive end, they've got to respond, and their primary focus will be maintaining control of this man, Tyler Harvey. He hasn't been great in the series, but he's hit 2 big shots throughout the course of this series to lead the Hawks' victories.
And then conversely, Drewy, on the other side of the coin, here's Chris Golding, who has had an almost series so far. Is today the day where he explodes?
Yeah, both these players have been okay without being spectacular like we've seen throughout their time in the NBL. Chris Golding has been patient, but the reality of it is he's not getting the looks, the clean looks which he needs in order to shoot at a great percentage. You know, in that game 4, they only had 71 points for a team that averaged into the 90s. That's well below expectations, and they only shot it at 27%. I think the three-point line is going to be really important in this contest tonight as to who gets the win.
And then there's the battle for the championship MVP, which we think by now, Derek, comes down to either Will Hickey or Matthew Dellavedova.
Both these guys have been outstanding, and Will Hickey has figured out how to play in those mismatches against the bigs in the 4th quarter. Dellavedova is playing the best basketball of his career, in my opinion, scoring, distributing, and he's lifted his intensity on the defensive end.
Let's get over to Joe Healy courtside. Joe, welcome to you. Great to have you with us. And an injury update as we head into the 5th and final game.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great to be here. 2 big ins for both teams. Shea Ely for Melbourne United returning after 2 games with concussion. And for the Hawks, Trey Kell, he missed game 4, but he is fit for tonight. Obviously, the big injury news for the Hawks, Sam Froling rupturing his Achilles in Game 4. But as we saw in the second half of that game, the Hawks are well and truly up for the challenge of filling that void. Justin Tatum will be rolling through his rotations yet again, and Sam's going to be their biggest cheerleader and another coach on the sideline.
Well, it's a big challenge for them today, no doubt about that, Joe. Thank you very much. There's Shea Illy as we take a look at Melbourne's starting lineup. So he is suited up to play.
He is, and he could be a big burst off of the bench. We know what he means to this Melbourne United team, and that starting lineup is strong, Andrew.
It certainly is, and if Shea Illy can play, when you think of Tyler Harvey trying to contain him, it's going to be a big factor. And do we know about Trey Kell as well? What type of impact he can have? If we took a look at the starting lineup, and it's an impressive one when Will Hickey's in the type of form that he's in. Peatling doesn't always play starter minutes, but he could be big tonight, this afternoon, I should say, in the absence of Froling.
Here it is, the final chapter in the NBL25 season. And it is Melbourne United, the visitors, in the most hostile of environments. The boos have started already. Off the opening tip, Golding unloads. Darius Days kept Lee off the glass.
And
the Hawks get a look at it.
Interesting, that first possession, Days matched up against Lee. Peatling went on to White.
Mason Peatling, a championship winner with Melbourne United, trying to make it his second title. Nice hands from Melbourne.
Clearly trying to get Chris Golding going early, but Jack White's another one. We saw what, if you could get him going, has Ian Clark very casually just says, hey, have a seat, Illawarra, and knocks down a 3-ball. That was a little open, a little bit more free than what you'd expect.
0-5 on Wednesday, Ian Clark. And their loss to Illawarra. Darius Days was run off the line, takes it inside.
Wow, a lot of contact.
Officials let that one go. Jack White in the corner. Big for his confidence as well. Melbourne off to a 6-0 start. 1 week ago, he hit his first 3 and then wound up going 8 of 9 for 20 points in that Melbourne United victory. Only 8 points across this championship series. Jack White, 14 throughout the regular season, has had his struggles. Will Hickey over the top of Marcus Lee.
Just extraordinary, Derek, how composed he is getting into the paint. His quickness and athleticism allows the penetration, but the finishing has been elite throughout this series. And that time with the one hand, you could see the excitement that he's trying to generate and the emotion, but either off 1 foot, 2 foot, 1 hand, 2 hands, around that rim, he has been outstanding.
Well, Melbourne United have had 3 good looks at it offensively, in my opinion. Golding missed a nice look to start off with. Clark hit one, and then Jack White hit one. Hawks need to tighten up.
The away team has won every single game in this championship series. Hickey fouls Lee.
Well, we've seen a change already. Dean Vickerman, before the start of this one, was telling us about how he thought they went a little too slow. He wanted to slow the tempo down in Game 4, but he thought they overcompensated a little too much, and he was trying to instill a bit more freedom. Well, the freedom's come from the three-point line, where their first 3 field goal attempts that they've got have all been threes, and that, again, was a quick action. And with Matthew Dellavedova's ability to finish at the rim, and also now with his passing ability, makes him a tough cover.
Marty Swakala-Bullock flies up the floor for the Hawks without Sam Froling today. Harvey on the move, attracts a crowd. They feed Peatling down low. He bodies his way inside, and Marcus Lee's got another one. Golding tried to keep it alive. And it's only been 2 minutes in this game, but Melbourne look locked in early on.
They are, and high possessions already for only 2 minutes in, as Peatling battled inside and Daves was able to keep it alive. And Hickey now with a little baby jump shot. Hawks got 4 on the board. But down here, right here, they've got to execute defensively better. Melbourne United are really locked in offensively with their execution.
Will Hickey, their only scorer so far. Golding tees off, unsuccessful. No space at all for Tyler Harvey to get a 3-ball away. He's desperate to pull the trigger on one early. Darius Days hit a big one on Wednesday.
Nose for the ball, Hickey.
He is doing everything out there so far, Will Hickey. He can't score, though.
It's physical off the ball and on the ball, Andrew. That's a foul right there on Peatling. And Swapala Bullock and Delhi exchanged some pleasantries early.
Now, as we mentioned in Game 4, and Illawarra on the road, we said they should come out here and test the limits of the officials because they need to take away the 3 ball. And I think we saw it on that possession there. It was like, well, we're going to reach and slap and apply that ball pressure. And that time get called for the foul. But I like the action and the intensity on the ball.
Marcus Lee comes out. Rob Lowe in for the first time. Here he is. For 3.
They need to address the 3-point line. Like I said in the pregame, they were poor, 26% in Game 4. And they've come out and they've made a conscious effort. And Harvey finds an easy one, but a conscious effort just to attack the 3-point line and look for 3-point shots in their sets.
Home fans wanted to travel. Clark kept playing and knocks down another 3 and tells the home fans all about it.
Well, that's their 4th made 3 in only 3.5 minutes, and Clark is all over Harvey. That should have been an offensive foul, and it's blown by Chris Reed. And now Harvey wants to get after Ian Clark. Tempers are raging here and win.
I'm not so sure. I think that was the retaliator. There was a lot of contact on Harvey.
Maybe.
He's got to have some freedom of movement. He was just trying his best to get around, and it was a really soft push-off on this one. So there was a lot of contact prior to that. I mean, that is not a lot in there. If you're allowing the defense to hold, you've got to give equal proportion to the offense as well.
It's not often that you see Tyler Harvey show that sort of emotion.
I think he understands it's going to be a late night if that's how they're going to allow the defense to play. And I love it from Melbourne United. That's what they had to do. Really get out there in the grill. See contact there, bump there, another
Good D
bump.
by Clark.
Yeah, a little bit, but there's contact. So if you're going to allow that contact, it wasn't all that aggressive, that push-off.
And we see Shea Ely subbed into the game for the first time. Hasn't played since a head injury in Game 2. Trey Kell also into the game for Illawarra. We haven't seen him since Game 3.
It's a big moment right here. Could be a watershed moment for one of these 2 teams. A lot of people predicted some type of one-sided victory. I didn't see it that way, but with Melbourne United up 7 early, they're off to a nice start.
There is all sorts of physicality off the ball. Falls into the hands of Hickey. He's a one-man show right now on the way to the basket. That'll count.
And it's a bad play by Lowe because that was not going to go in.
Certainly wasn't, Andrew, but I thought there was contact also. You really got to protect the basketball. As we look at the Amy replay, a little bit of contact down low, but definitely a goaltend up high.
The 2 teams played on Wednesday. It was Illawarra who won and shocked everyone. 81-70, the final score. And they did it without their big man, Sam Froling. Low run off the line by Olbrich. The veteran gets inside, and Melbourne will be shooting more free throws.
Well, often we talk about emotion
and
a tech foul.
First foul is black 30. We'll block shots. Technical foul, blue 21.
So the tech foul on Ian Clark.
Well, I think they gave him a warning in the possession beforehand. And unlike in the NBA, that tech foul goes to his personal tally as well. So we're going to see 3 free throws here.
But we talk about the emotions, Andrew, and right now, nerves are not a factor. Both teams have come out really hard, playing aggressively. And Jack, Ian Clark, very expressive and emotive in this first quarter.
Oh, my.
Trey Kell misses that little bunny to get him going. Drewy, it feels like if Illawarra can harness the energy in this building in the right way, it's really going to mean something to them.
Yeah, that's true, but I like the way Melbourne United have come out, that they can really develop their confidence when you're seeing the 3-ball fall. And they're 4 of 7 from the 3-point line. That opens things up. You're able to get to the rim. As Lowe is really aggressive, putting the ball to the deck, which is not normally his MO. But works his way to the free throw line, misses the first one. Berger's on offer for the state of New South Wales.
It's Melbourne who lead by 6. Things games just start to settle in the 5th and deciding game of the series. Greta baseline, aggressive take. Little tip in from Hickey. Golding guarded by Kell, crosses over. Gets to a nice spot and the jumper drops in.
Smart play there by Golding, very patient with himself and gets the nice bounce.
8-point lead is a significant one in the first quarter away from home. Hickey drives. He's playing like a man on a mission.
Well, Andrew, Illawarra, they haven't scored as well so far as United, but they are getting paint touches and drives to the bucket as Illy makes one of his own. And this is the way it should be. Both teams feisty, both teams fighting on every possession.
Will Hickey is single-handedly carrying the Illawarra Hawks, particularly on the offensive end. He's got 8 out of their 10. And Melbourne have got a problem on their hands figuring out how they're going to contain him, because his ability to get to the rim, it's been pretty easy for him so far as he takes a rest. And Todd Blanchfield comes in for his first minutes.
2 of 6 early on from the free throw line, Melbourne. 2 of 5, I should say.
Well, it's been a problem. They've had all sorts of problems from the free throw line.
Hawks playing with pace. It suits them just fine. There's Trey Kell. Can't score in his return game. Illy happy to explore at the other end.
Hawks have all types of foul troubles early. And already in the bonus, and Shea Illy will get a chance to settle back into this series by going to the line for a couple of shots. As we have a look at Damon Lowry, our colleague, who gave a rousing speech up in the Hawks pre-game corporate function. Probably could have gone about 3 minutes less, but nevertheless, it was effective.
High quality, emotional. Love the passion from the little man.
We might hear from Damon a little bit later on, is my understanding.
Hopefully not. Wow, they're really struggling from the line, Jack. 3 of 7.
42% have shot from this position, 73% for the season, but just 68% in this championship series. Sold out crowd at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. As we said off the top, tickets were gone in less than 60 seconds. Everywhere you drive through the region today, it's a sea of red and black. Golding to land a blow. Big board by Flynn Cameron. Melbourne can reset. Shot clock ticks all the way down to 5. Melbourne almost being given the room for Shea Illy to get to the elbow and drain the mid-range. It's a 10-point lead.
It is, and Shea Illy, we know he's missed a couple of games, but you can't just let him walk into a free throw. And it's concerning signs here for the Illawarra Hawks.
20-10 is Melbourne's advantage early on, and pre-game, Joe Healy caught up with Matthew Dellavedova.
Delly, how are you feeling? You've obviously played in some big games. Do you still get any nerves or that adrenaline rush at such an occasion?
Yeah, the excitement's definitely there. It's going to be a big game, obviously, for the championship, so looking forward to it.
You've won at the top level. Can you describe or even try and compare what it would be like to win an NBL championship as well?
I mean, we're just focused on the process. What do we need to do to win the game? And I think the biggest thing is going to be the O-boards.
What were you able to take out of Game 4? Obviously, disappointing, an opportunity missed, but you have another opportunity today. What can we expect to see that is different from that performance?
Yeah, I mean, we held them to 80 while losing the O-boards, which I think we can clean up and hold them to an even lower score, but just getting a little bit more flow into our offense.
The beauty for you guys, obviously, is the fact that you've won here twice in this series. How much confidence can you take from that, knowing you can do it again?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun place to play. The crowd's obviously into it, so we'll be ready to go.
All business pre-game, Matthew Dellavedova. He's been all business in this series.
And these minutes that Shea Illy can play right now are only going to help Matthew Dellavedova in the fourth quarter. He's logged a lot of minutes. He's been the best player in this series, but this invaluable rest he's getting right now with Ulbrich takes it right at and over Marcus Lee. He's been so impressive as a youngster in this championship series.
He's plus 44, Lachlan Ulbrich, for the series.
He's taking his game to another level off the bounce on the low block. He's presented a huge target for the Illawarra Hawks.
Need to play some big minutes today in the absence of Sam Froling. Bowling with a handoff to Golding. Is that one short? 9 rebounds to 6 early on. Illawarra's way. Greta to the step and the finish.
Smart pass to kick it ahead from Ulbrich, and Greta went Euro style on Marcus Lee, left him in mud.
Well, that's back-to-back plays where they've gone at Marcus Lee and found a relatively easy bucket. And good minutes coming out of that timeout. Dan Greta signals that he needs a spell. And here's that transition. Nice Euro step there by Greta.
Matty Russell, you were listening into the timeout.
Yeah, no frustration from Coach Tatum. He said, I like the defense. Don't worry about the fouls. Just keep defending a little bit more strongly. He said, don't worry about the scoreboard. I like your rebounding, so keep rebounding. Don't worry about the score. Brad, down to you.
Yeah, Dean Vickerman he was very happy with the situation there, and he just said it's a 6-2 foul count. Show your hands. We don't want to give them anything. Play tough D and rebound.
Nicely done, Brad. Ulbrich, the spin. Left that one short. And Ian Clark is fouled at the other end.
Wow, what a move by Ulbrich. He wasn't able to finish it off, and that's the penalty. When you don't make the ones you need to, the offensive transition looks a little bit more aggressive in this Game 5 by Melbourne United, and they are looking to push it on every single occasion.
NBA champion and NBL champion Ian Clark. He'd also love a Mitsubishi ASX, and who wouldn't? Let's jump online, scan the QR code, or visit the website for your chance to win.
Oh, beautiful car. You know how we're talking about Jack White, Chris Golding, Melbourne United need to get them going. I think the Illawarra Hawks have got to do the same with Tyler Harvey. 6 of 32 from the three-point line, well below his averages, and he's going to find enough points. You've got to get him going.
He's attracting a lot of attention. Crosses over on Krebs. Good look goes missing. Hickey again. He has 10 of their 16 points.
The points around the bucket are valuable for Illawarra. Oh, as Lee commits a foul and then goes down. As is Trey Kell.
Trey Kell carrying a knee injury into this game. Got caught up with Marcus Lee, as Derek said. The foul will be on Melbourne. But immediately, Trey Kell on the Amy replay gets up gingerly.
And I didn't see much movement from Lee in his defense as we see another angle. That's his second foul, and undeserving, Andrew.
Yeah, it didn't looked like he was set, and Trey Kell just ran into the legs of Lee.
And that's always painful, the knee-to-knee collision.
Yeah.
Got injured in Game 3, Trey Kell, All-NBL first team of this season. They were able to win Game 4 without him. He's out there today, far from 100%. That'll be a foul on Krebs. It is borderline MMA in this first quarter.
well, what it is,
both teams.
It's intense, and both these teams in the reach in and the hold, 7 fouls to 4. We've had 11 fouls called. And if it was a regular season game, I reckon we would have seen about 20 fouls called.
It is so physical out there. Hickey's playing with them.
They don't have an ample matchup. He's too long for the regular Melbourne United guards in Dellavedova and Ely and Clark, but he's too quick for Krebs.
Yeah. No, you're right. And what they need is 2, possibly 3 Matthew Dellavedovas out on the court, because he would, he's In this case around Harvey, you've got Kell now to deal with. There's a lot of problems that you've got to solve, and it's the both on and off the ball, Derek.
Yeah.
They're attacking both ways. They do a good job of getting some movement.
Well, Jackie's got 12 points on 5 of 7 shooting already.
4 rebounds to go with it too. A stunning first quarter performance from Will Hickey. Huge for Illawarra. Clark's deep on the first jumper. Second one goes. He's got 10 of his own. Six-point lead to Melbourne United. Here's Trey Kell. And the Win Entertainment Centre roars.
That's what happens when you help out on those on-ball screen, the extra passing. You're playing catch-up, and you've got elite shooters out there that makes it hard.
Krebs can't land a blow at the other end.
And right now with Blanchfield playing the 4, it really opens up the floor for the Hawks on this end.
Blanchfield steps back.
We got Deli on Hickey.
The momentum continues to swing in this first quarter right now. The Hawks are having a good couple of minutes. Wow. Basket won't count.
Gee, this is one that I think it's a foul, but given what they're being allowing, it's a relative soft one on Olbrich, and that picks up his second, so that's the big one.
And usually with the player or the offensive player low in this instance, a chance to score the basketball, they usually let you play.
Don't forget, of course, you can follow the NBL behind the scenes, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Snapchat. You name it, it's all there, and you'll see all of the post-match celebrations. A live edition of NBL Now coming up with Felix Copes and Hools after the game as well.
Plenty of content.
Well, this is going to be Melbourne United's 11th and 12th free throw in the contest. The Illawarra Hawks only had the 4.
High scoring first quarter. It hasn't been the trend of the series. They've been low scoring grinds, most of them. If it becomes high scoring, does it suit Illawarra more? They were the #1 offensive team in the league this season.
I think it does, Jack, especially here in this building right now, the way it's pulsating. And everybody here waiting for something big.
One jump lead for the corner. Into the game with immediate effect, and it's a 2-point ball game.
The consistency of Lee to be able to get one off as soon as he enters the basketball game is astounding, Andrew.
Yeah, that was really good. Good screen.
Beautiful pass inside. Delavan over for Lowe. Who's blocked by Peatling. Here come the Hawks to tie it up or take the lead off this possession and finish the quarter full of momentum. Kell pulls up. Bottom of the net.
So smooth, Trey Kell. Feeling good. After missing a couple of games.
It's a 16-6 run by the Illawarra Hawks, and they've done it in a variety of different ways.
Shot clock and game clock as one. Delavan trying to take it upon himself. Shoots, can't score. Lee from a long way out. Just about drained that one. It is 26 apiece in a genuine melting pot of emotion. Game 5 of the championship series from the Win Entertainment Centre. Do not go anywhere.
Come on, Trey. Oh! 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 Oh, no. What is Trey? Get up, Trey. Trey, get your ass up, Trey. Okay, Trey. Welcome back, Trey.
Thanks to Harvey Norman in the zone. Damon Lowry, one of 7 2001 championship-winning Hawks in the house tonight, plus their assistant coach, Eric Cooks. So for 11 games in a row now, coming into this grand final game 5, the Hawks are unbeaten in the first quarter. United threw the kitchen sink at them. The Hawks rallied 26 all, and Justin Tatum said against this small Melbourne lineup, rebounding is imperative out of quarter time. Brad Rosen?
Well, we talk about the experience of Chris Goulding, and he was outstanding in that quarter-time break. He just looked at the team and said, for the first 8 minutes, we were great, but then we gave up offensive rebounds, and that allowed three-point shots as Mason Peatling gets another offensive rebound. He said, let's just tie those up. Then the coach came in and gave him the instructions.
Great work, Brad and Matty. Fouls are an issue for Illawarra. Offensive rebounds are an issue for Melbourne United, Drewy. They've conceded 6 already in the opening term, like Brad said.
They have, and it was a special point of emphasis for Melbourne United. And I know it's early, but Illawarra haven't capitalised on that. They've just, last one by Mason Peatling was an example. There's probably 2 or 3 of them that 9 times out of 10, you expect to make those ones around the basket, and they haven't been able to knock it down.
But in their favor, Andrew, Illawarra have got 14 points in the paint. They've attempted 16 shots in the paint, which is excellent for the team that led the competition in that category. Melbourne United have been getting it done from the three-point line and the free throw line.
Shea Elliott, 2-time NBL champion. Back out there for the 5th and final game, as is that man, Trey Kell. Harvey backdoor. Beautiful offense, Illawarra, as they take the lead.
And that's the type of action, I think, to get someone going. Find a way to loosen up the defense. Backdoor cuts are excellent at being able to release some defensive pressure.
Ian Clark and Tyler Harvey. The exchange, a couple of pleasantries in that first quarter. That's ambitious from Clark.
The Illawarra defense has improved in the last 6 minutes.
Harvey once more, all alone under the cup.
And Andrew, Melbourne had 17 points halfway through the first quarter. They've only scored 10 since then.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be surprised at the way in which Illawarra is scoring. It's just that they're up against a really good defensive team in Melbourne United, but on the season, they've over 605 layups.
Yeah.
And the next best is at like 420. So it's the way they play and their inability to keep people in front of the dribble, combined with now some off-the-ball action, they're exposing Melbourne United.
Mason Peatling checks out with his 3rd foul. He's been very physical out there. White took it to the rack, and Darius Days went with him. Kell on the move, off the glass.
Beautiful touch by Trey Kell in transition. Hawks take a 5-point lead. Timeout, Melbourne United.
Trey Kell getting the home fans into it. There's Damon Lowry, who's in the zone today for Harvey Norman. This sold-out Win Entertainment Centre. And Illawarra are starting to feed off the electricity.
Jack White went strong to the hole. Darius Days has kind of gotten the better of him throughout this series, and Trey Kell looking like he had little time off. He's fresh, Andrew, and those shots like that are some indication of where his skills are at right now.
Well, there's the coaching record of Dean Vickerman, Andrew, guys. Yeah. They're always around the mark, Melbourne United, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and as you'd expect, they're a big franchise, well-resourced. They've been able to put together some fabulous teams, and Dean's done an outstanding job of getting the best out of them. In contrast, you look at
the great turnaround, Andrew. Look at that record. Look at that record since he took over, 63%.
It is phenomenal. And again, though, it's come on the back of really good talent, and he has done an unbelievable job, particularly when you inherit a team at 2 and 7. You're dealing with not just some structural issues with your method, but also your psyche.
But also, that team performs like the personality of its coach. They're high-strung, they're energetic, they get after you, they're not taking any time off. And when I talk about the Hawks' identity, a lot of it has been created and cultivated by Justin Tatum.
And you need talent, but one thing I love about him is the method of scoring. Yeah, they do it from the three-point line, but off the bounce, they've got some actions to free up players off the back cuts. It's a really well-balanced offensive system that he's put together.
Really, through contact, found low. He knocks down another three. Nice set out of the timeout for Melbourne.
That's a big shot from low. Probably not the person who they drew that up for, Andrew, but, oh, Illy.
After that loose ball, Jack White with the jam. Shea Illy with all the desperation required of Game 5.
See, Shea Illy is that guy that right now you've got options. Tyler Harvey, come and get it. Don't put Trey Kell in this situation. Sure, Trey Kell's got to do a better job. He should not have turned that ball over. But Shea Illy, he's made a living out of being that type of defender.
And just in a 20-second play phase, United go on a 5-0 run.
Has 7 points in the game, Trey Kell. Couple of rebounds, couple of assists. He's +7 in his time on the floor. That won't count.
Shea Illy off the ball. Really good back screen, but just holding Tyler Harvey. But that's one they wish they hadn't have called.
And Dean Vickerman really playing Shea Illy a little bit more than I had anticipated, Andrew.
Yeah, there's a bit of a mystery of exactly how he was going to figure in this one.
Michael Bullock. First score of the game for him. First field goal attempt of the game. Has spent a lot of time chasing Golding, who gets down the other end and bombs away.
And that's just bad luck. Swakala Bullock was the shooter. And it only took a step, and straight away, Chris Golding out on the break. Now here it is again, and how they're going to contain him. This time he's able to pick him up. But when you're a shoot, when you've made the bucket, it does put a little bit more pressure on you in your D-trans.
There's Ian Clark who lays it up as well. These two teams starting to trade buckets at a high frequency.
Well, the shooting percentages are really good. 51% for the Hawks and 48% for Melbourne United as Ulbrich attacks and misses.
It's big from Jack White, but Swakala Bullock put his head in the hole and drew a foul in the process.
It's going to be on low. Those desperation, the 1%ers, the loose balls in a game that's so tight, they add up. They're the types of possessions that at the end of the game, you need to be on the positive side of the ledger of those 50-50 balls, offensive rebounds, which the Illawarra Hawks have dominated. They've got 18 rebounds in total. 7 have come at the offensive end.
And with Will Hickey being their best player in this game, currently riding the bench with 2 fouls. Someone's going to have to make sure they keep this scoreboard ticking over from the Hawks. And, you know, Blanchfield, I would think, could feature now based on how Melbourne United are playing. Tyler Harvey, sorry.
Final day of our season, of course. Don't forget to jump online and grab your tickets for when the New Orleans Pelicans come to Australia in October. It's all available on the NBL website. Hawks by 1. Golding got in front of Swaka-Bullock and then fed Lee inside. They've left a few out there, Melbourne, from that spot. Harvey with the floater, not short as well.
I thought he should have kicked that one on, Andrew.
I feel like he's pressing a little Tyler Harvey to get himself going.
6 points on 3 of 7. No room whatsoever for Golding. He boots it back up top to Dellavedova. Shot clock getting down to 5. He bullies his way in, and it drops.
Drops that left shoulder. He does a good job of maintaining control. Finish that bucket.
Great separation he gets.
Marcus Lee.
That's a foul.
That wasn't far off either. Out there with 2 as it is. Ulbrich well aware of that. Engineers a pass to Wani. Swaka-Bullock.
Ulbrich is a very good passer. And the poise he showed there, that one-on-one battle with Lee was really good.
It's Illawarra who take the lead by 2. Jack White steps into the 3 ball. The lead continues to change in game 5.
You've just got an elite game of basketball going on here. Dellavedova got away with some flopping action.
8 points for Tyler Harvey on 4 of 8. He has struggled during this series. Flynn Cameron has played some meaningful minutes in these last 2 games. Can't score. Blanchfield puts the ball on the floor. And turns it over. All sorts of contact happening off the ball between these 2. Golding tries the impossible.
That was.
Agree to spoil Swaka-Bullock. There's Flynn Cameron, who forces his way to the free throw line.
Both teams scrambling on both ends of the floor. There's not much structure. You see Cameron gets his arm grabbed as he gets a shot up, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Certain calls can be questionable. That was not one of them. Swaka-Bullock there just holding him.
Oh, that's a wrist lock that he had right there. Matty Russell, you were listening in the timeout.
Yeah, such important minutes in a huge game for young Lockie Ulbrich, and as has been the case all year, the energy on the Hawks bench is fantastic. It's as if Lockie has his own personal coaches, because that last time out, Sam Froling injured, but straight into the ear of Lockie about what he needed to do next. Next to chew Lockie's ear was a 16-season veteran, Todd Blanchfield. They're all together. They're helping everyone in this team this afternoon.
They've left a few out there. 9 of 15 now from the free throw line.
Flynn Cameron takes care of the second free throw. Another talented young player in this league. Big occasion for both of these teams. Blanchfield started this series in a blaze of glory, but it's gone a little quiet since then. Dellavedova again. Drops that shoulder. Great D from Ulbrich. Did well not to overcommit. Hickey always in rhythm, always in motion. Got swamped by Lee. Kept it alive. Smart play. Kell for Ulbrich.
Great offense there by Illawarra in broken play. They maintain good spacing, winding up with Ulbrich slamming it home.
Playing his role today, Lockie Ulbrich in search of his first NBL title. Golding steps back. That does not go. He's 2 of 8 in the first half, Chris Golding.
Got blood on Flynn Cameron, and this is, you talk about good offense. It was not good up until there, but then it does become good ball movement, recognising where the help's coming from, and nice drop-off pass for Albrecht, who again has been impressive.
Well, both teams, much like the course of this series, Jack, no real edge in this game. Obviously, Illawarra's up 2.
Biggest lead for Melbourne was 10, Derek, early on, but since then, Illawarra have clawed it back. Their biggest lead has been 5 so far.
And I think if you're Melbourne United, you are concerned about what's going on the glass. It's now 22-14. It's starting to become a genuine factor. And it's not just lucky bounces, it's the intent of going after it.
In this series, the winner of the rebound count has generally been winning games.
And then some Melbourne United sacrifice a little bit. Like, you look at the lineup they got on the floor right now. It is small. It's 4 guards and Jack White.
Well, rarely we see this lineup. Usually, it's the platoon system, either Lee or Lowe. But Vickerman's gone super small here.
Hickey with his back to the basket. Dellavedova leaning in. Got away with the first one. Wasn't going to be going for the second one without being penalised. Just 2 points for the day. He's got his hands full with Will Hickey right now, who has 12 points as the equal leading scorer in the game with Ian Clark. Albrecht throws a bullet to Blanchfield, and this time it goes. Timeout, Melbourne United. Hawks lead by 5.
He's an exceptional passer, as we noted before, Andrew. Keeps his eyes up. Albrecht finds Blanchfield. Hawks slightly edging ahead.
No doubt, what a pass. And that's what happens when you're getting beaten in the paint. You hedge. You hedge a little too far off an elite shooter in Todd Blanchfield. And when he's that wide open, he's going to make more than he misses when he's that wide open.
Let's cross into the Illawarra camp, courtesy of Harvey Norman. And here's Damon Larry.
It ain't never supposed to be easy. Keep going, Lock. Oh, okay, Guido. Okay, Guido.
5-point lead to Illawarra. Damon Lowry, courtesy of Harvey Norman, in the zone this afternoon. 48-43. Game 5 of the championship series at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. The build-up to this one has been enormous. The whole country is talking about this game right now. There's Jason Kadee, recently retired, a star of this league for a long time to come. Jared Novelli, the owner of the Illawarra Hawks, has been in the news in the last 48 hours. He's here as well. It is hostile, Damon. Hostile, hostile, hostile.
And right now, Dean Vickerman has a slight issue, Andrew, with trying to figure out how to slow down this Illawarra Hawks interior scoring.
Yeah.
And he's gone with this small lineup. And as I said before, rarely do we see Melbourne United play without Lee or Lowe in the lineup.
Well, I think it's interesting what Illawarra have done. With this small lineup, they've decided to match it like for like. So they've taken their bigs out. Day's now really playing the 5 spot. Points in the paint, 26-12. So there's a genuine problem that, like you mentioned, Dean Vickerman has to figure out. But this is not unusual. They're the #1 by a considerable margin of scoring with points in the paint.
But it's an extraordinary stat, Drew, without Sam Froling, who is one of the best big men in the competition. They are still getting points in the painted area.
Well, they're confident with Lachlan Albrecht doing his thing on the block, but realistically, it hasn't been him so much scoring. It's been the other guys. It's been Hickey. It's been Kell cutting, getting easy opportunities around the hoop.
Well, the other thing, too, is when they do get it in there on those post-ups, as you saw on that last 3 ball, their willingness and ability to pass the ball out of it, as we take a look at some very excited fans and owners of the Illawarra Hawks.
Just the one championship for Illawarra, 2000-2001. It's been a long time between drinks.
And it's interesting, if you look at the math of this game, Andrew, Melbourne United score most of their points from beyond the 3-point line. That's how they win basketball games and have done so in NBL 25. Illawarra are about interior scoring, but who's going to be more efficient?
Obviously, you want to make threes. That racks up your points, but it's a less effective and efficient manner of playing the game.
That's right, and this little pause here, I think it's coming at a good time for Melbourne United.
It has.
Blood on the floor, coming from Flynn Cameron.
A lot of perspiration out there too. It is hot inside the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Clark got to a nice spot. The find underneath was good for White. Fouled with one to come. Matty Russell courtside.
It was as if Justin Tatum was listening to you men during that last timeout, because he said, keep playing through the post, keep bringing the 5-man into it, which right now is Darius Days. They want to feed in the paint. Down to you, Brad Rosen.
Vickerman was more worried about the offensive end. He felt there was some quick shots and the ball didn't get movement. That was the perfect thing of what they wanted outside of that timeout, where they come off the on-ball, roll it in, Jack White gets and one.
What a roller coaster series this has been for Jack White. At his best, a game winner in this venue. At his worst, he has had all sorts of demons, including from that spot there, the free throw line, Drewy.
Was now 8 of 28 from the free throw line.
It's been very much a mental game in the championship series for White.
It's a foul.
It's a foul.
And he did a decent job of staying with Trey Kell, but wound up coming up underneath in his landing spot, and that Jack White now has 2 fouls. Slight concern.
So this is not unfamiliar territory for Dean Vickerman to have Rob Lowe, Marcus Lee and Jack White with some foul troubles, but it would be fair to say with the stage of the game, it's less than ideal.
No, absolutely. It's less than ideal, as one, because individually they're in foul trouble, and two, the amount of the ball pressure that they need to apply. And if you just take the foot off the pedal ever so slightly on that ball pressure, we've seen that Illawarra Hawks have been able to expose that.
Well, and let's give some credit also to Trey Kell. He's now got 8 points. He's got 4 boards, 4 assists, and he's a +9 in only 12 minutes.
A little surprised that Will Hickey, after that explosive first quarter, has sat a lot. He's only played 10 and a bit minutes.
Well, Tatum's gone conservative on him with the 2 fouls.
Yeah,
He can pop for Jack White. Long on the 3. And that caught Melbourne hands last.
We would normally go conservative if you get 3.
Well, it depends on how the coach sees that player within the framework of this game, and he's probably like late in the game he wants him with fouls to give.
They're leading the quarter by 5, Illawarra, so what they're doing is working, and it's getting better by the minute.
Wani Swakala-Bullock, an underrated 3-point shooter, strokes it at about 45%.
Golding had to give up his look for Illy. Melbourne now 7 of 17 from the 3-point line. Darius Days underneath.
This last 3 minutes, in fact, most of this quarter, advantage Illawarra Hawks.
It is now a 10-point lead. Only for a moment, though. Nice find for White.
Right now, Dean Vickerman right in front of us, pleading with his defense to find some teeth. But it's hard when you're undersized and playing against a team so talented offensively.
Yeah, Swakala-Bullock wide open in the corner, decided to go for the layup. Swakala-Bullock's been on fire.
Still just the 2 points for Matthew Dellavedova, averaging 16 in the championship series. Throws the lob for White. The positioning was less than ideal.
That's a good foul.
And Melbourne United starting to find a little bit of space with their Spain action. It's a couple of lob opportunities, and Jack White get a chance to go to the line and try and find some rhythm from there. He's 0 of 1 in this one already. 2 made free throws here. Jack would do a lot for the confidence, although he's not looking very confident at the line with his body language.
Deep breath.
Wow. Oh my. They're not just missing, they're missing badly.
Well, that was
a clunk off the left-hand side of the...
He's been short and right, and that was left and deep.
A sigh of relief for Jack White. He has a wry smile as he walks past us. Timeout with a minute, is 45 seconds, I should say, remaining.
Well, I mean, the level of interaction sometimes that we get here in the commentary position is great, and Jack White just looked at you dead in your eyes and kind of shook his head in a bemused manner.
The good thing is he had a smile on his face when he did it.
Yeah. 55-48. He is the leading scorer in the game, Jack White. He's got 13 points as we take a listen to Melbourne coach Dean Vickerman.
Hey, we're 14 rotate. If you guys can get to if he's fucking locked into it, and you guys can get to that connected show and keep him on Harvey, we're pretty good with that one as well. All right? Hey, first one down. If we're flying and we're quick and we're slowed down though, I just want a two-shake, Robbie. All right? Throw it in. CT, you're the back screener right here. All right? You can pop on that. Here we go.
Looking for another title, Dean Vickerman, three-time Coach of the Year. There is Larry Kesselman, the NBL's Executive Director, just taking something for the gram on there. He said during the week, the league is not for sale.
Andrew, you're always making fun of me when Larry does.
Hey, Larry, we got you covered. We got 48 cameras in the joint. We can send you the footage.
They're his cameras. Trey Kell falls over.
That looked like a trip.
Blanchfield's played some pretty important minutes. He only has 5 points, but he's plus 13 for the game. And this bench composition of Illawarra, they can turn to any man on their roster who's suited up today. And across the course of the season, their bench points have been a strong point.
Yeah, they do. And they've got coverage at every single position. This is the deepest roster in the competition as far as maintaining the quality. And Tatum now takes out his offensive guns and puts his best defensive lineup on the floor for this last possession and a bit.
And Jack, you're extremely accurate because in this game right here, Illawarra's +8 off the bench.
Plus 17 on Wednesday in game 4 as well, so it's working for them. When he turns to his second unit, Lowe's fouled by Greeter. Late in the shot clock.
You know, look, if you just keep fouling Lowe and White and Lee and send them to the line, if these guys are only going to make 1 of 2 on a regular and consistent basis, that favors the Hawks.
Yeah, Lowe's not great, 64% on the season. And it just puts so much pressure on you. They've had 19 free throws already, 11 of 19, as opposed to 6 of 8 for the Illawarra Hawks. That's a lot. He's shooting over 20 free throws in a half of basketball. If you look at Joey Wright, just behind the head of Justin Tatum.
Butch Hayes
has been in this situation before against Melbourne United in a very similar set of circumstances when he was the head coach of the Adelaide 36ers.
28, I want to say.
Yeah, that's about right.
17, 18, yeah. Shot clock switched off. The Hawks trying to finish the half with a full head of steam. Blanchfield, got it!
Bad decision.
That was in from the moment it left his hand. And a 10-point lead for the home team with the series and the season on the line.
We anticipated some type of offensive explosion by these Illawarra Hawks, the best offensive team in the league. But Andrew, 60 points as Blanchfield knocks one down at the buzzer. We couldn't have foreseen this one.
Let's get over to Brad Rosen.
Yeah, thanks. I got Ian Clark. Ian, 32 points for Illawarra in that quarter and 28 in the paint overall. That seems where it's coming from.
Yeah, but I think we got to follow our game plan as well. We helping in, guys getting wide open threes. When they getting that and they scoring in the paint, it's going to be tough to beat them, so we got to take away one of those.
You feel confident in this, Jim? You know you can win. What's got to change in the second half?
We got to come with some more energy. We got to rebound the ball a little bit better. They're getting second chance point. They're beating us to 50-50 balls. And like I said, we got to guard the three-point a little bit better.
Thanks so much, Ian. Over to you, Matty.
Will Hickey picked up in game 5 where he left off in game 4. Why did it feel so good for you starting this game, Will?
I don't know. I think it's just the crowd, the energy here, you know. Had a pretty good sleep last night, surprisingly, so feeling good.
60 points to the half. Have you got the sort of game you wanted?
Yeah, but probably a bit too much defensively. We need to tighten that up, clear a few things up, and yeah, get back out there and just finish the job.
Good on you, Will. Jack, back to you, mate.
Big advantage for Illawarra at half-time. 60-50 is their lead. Felix, Copes and Hools are up next for basketball.com.au. The half-time show coming up in Game 5 of the Championship Series.
Points, 4 boards for Jesse Wagstaff, and an excellent catch. Up to 39. Kings have had enough.
Take your game from the local court to the big time. Step onto an NBL court after the final buzzer. Backing local ballers is just the beginning.
First half has the Illawarra Hawks lead by 10. It's been the usual suspect in Will Hickey, Trey Kell back out there as well. Shea Illy taking part. It is all happening. 60-50, high octane offense. Tell you what, it's a hostile crowd. It's been a hostile week in the NBL. The NBL may not be for sale, but this game is certainly up for grabs. Peter Hooley, Leonard Copeland. Hey, the Illawarra Hawks, they've come out and done what they've done throughout the series. They've smacked Melbourne in the face in the first half. For them, it's all about closing this one out.
It is, and they've had struggles doing that, especially on their home floor. But again, normally in a do-or-die game, you see the rotations really tighten up. You see coaches maybe go 7-8 deep. 10 deep for the Hawks and 10 contributors deep. Justin Tatum's trusting the best bench in the league, and they paid dividends in the first half.
And the one thing that stands out for me is rebounding. 27 rebounds to 17. They're very aggressive on the boards. You would think it would be the opposite when you don't have crawling, but these guys are hungry. The young Ulbrich coming in doing well, Gage doing well, they went to the glass.
The rebounding hasn't been so much damaging as it's lifting the energy. As you talk about, that's effort, so that's contagious. The crowd's getting involved, and that's why they got that 10-point lead.
Will Hickey is fighting his way to not only a finals MVP, but a championship ring with this first half that he's put on.
He was spectacular. All his damage was done in the first quarter. Got the start again. Trey Kell came off the bench, but his poise, especially in the last two games, has been so impressive, and he's just growing with confidence. He's got a swagger about him. We know what he's had to be through to get these opportunities, and it's just great to see him step up.
And you speak about his poise. You know, Tatum really trusts this guy. He gives him the ball and lets him run the show. But he did all his work in the first quarter period. He only played 10 minutes, and he was spectacular in those 10 minutes, 12 points, 5 or 7 from the field. If he can continue to play like this, then Illawarra looking good.
Tatum would have liked to keep him on a bit more, but he picked up a couple of little fouls there, and when Trey Kell got rolling, he didn't have to kind of risk him. But make no mistake, that energy is what gets the rest of their team going, and Justin Tatum gets to turn around, smile, pick any one of that bench unit, they're going to come in and bring it.
Well, Melbourne United, Jack White has been up and down. He's been on a roller coaster through this series. We had the one missed free throw, which was alarming, but for the most part, he's keeping them in this game.
He's been tough, man. I mean, look, 13 points, 5 rebounds. He's being aggressive. Most important thing is he's looking to score. He's playing good defense, and when he does that, it makes him a much better team.
For sure, and again, we talked about it all series long. Not so much an X factor, but a barometer of how the team's going to play. Chris Golding's been quiet in this one, but Jack White, the Blackmore shot shark, it's fascinating. It's going to be something interesting to break down in the offseason. His free throws, you watch him step up and shoot the three, how confident he steps into it, the stroke, and then he short arm free throws. He'll obviously work on that in the offseason, but he's a key piece in the second half.
The trend throughout this entire series has been the Illawarra Hawks dominating a vast majority of the game, but unable to hold on late. What do they need to do in this second half to keep their head and hold on to this lead and the championship?
Well, the clear one is poise. And it's not just poise in terms of decision making. It's right now they're having success pushing the tempo. If this gets a little closer towards the end, do you go away from that? I don't think they're a team that likes to hold the ball, slow it down. Keep playing the way that got you here, trusting in your teammates, and you'll be champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, Melbourne United always coming in the fourth quarter and play that smart basketball. But last week, the Illawarra were able to win the fourth quarter, and that's what happens when they win the fourth quarter. They win the game.
Well, the Illawarra Hawks have one hand on the champion trophy right now. Will they take it out, or will Melbourne United claw back into this one? Second half, up next.
The Hungry Jacks NBL Final Series is here. To celebrate, the NBL and Mitsubishi are giving you the chance to win a brand new Mitsubishi ASX. Enter now at nbl.com.au/car for your chance to win.
Have a look, number one, we're getting the call here. Number one, where's Wally? He's in number one! Hey, there he is! Congratulations to pick yourself up $100 to spend the cash all off on that one. And congratulations to the Hawks. Go Hawks! And go Hawks!
Want to grow your small business into a big business? No matter what you like
Good pass, mate. Come on, game 5, Trey. Good down. Good down, Trey. Why you helping? You can't help off the corner.
Hawks championship winner Damon Lowry there for Harvey Norman in the zone. They lead by 10 at halftime. I've got their captain Sam Froling with me. Sam, obviously devastating news with the Achilles in game 4. Can I ask how you're feeling and how it is?
I mean, I'm okay. Nothing we can do about it, so we move on. We've got a good plan for going forward. But, you know, I'm just sitting here enjoying this game right now.
I've seen you talking to your teammates. You've got your coach's hat on. What are you seeing out there?
Oh, the effort's been unbelievable, sharing the ball. We're moving on defense. It's been really good, and we're just trying to stick to those things. We know Melbourne's a great team. They're going to come out in the second half like they have this whole series, so we're just prepped for that.
Best of luck to the guys for the rest of this one and to you with your recovery.
Devastating news for Sam Froling. Devastating news that he can't be there for game 5, but has been such an enormous part of this Illawarra team across this NBL25 season. Question is now, can his team get them over the line without him on the floor?
Well, right now it's advantage Illawarra Hawks that they lead the rebound count. They're shooting the ball at 54%. Things are looking really positive, and just a little flummoxed at some of the decisions that Melbourne United have made on the defensive end, particularly that last one that got Todd Blanchfield wide open. Just unusual decisions by Melbourne United.
Are you saying you think that they're feeling the pressure a bit, game 5?
Well, there's been some breakdowns. There's no way they said we're going to show on the on-ball and just leave Tom Blanchfield wide open. That's clearly there was a breakdown of some description.
Harvey with the feed to Lockie Olbrich. Points in the paint continue to pile up for the Hawks.
And Dean Vickerman has elected to start Shea Illy in place of Matthew Dellavedova in this half. And Dellavedova was quiet in that first half, and Marcus Lee gets the lob from Illy. But one of the other factors we talk about in that first half was the bench points and the points in the paint. And also the X factor. We didn't expect Trey Kell to come out and play to the level that he did.
And Melbourne United, for all that, they only had one turnover in the whole half. That is just extraordinary when you consider how physical this game has been.
13 points for Jack White. He's Melbourne's leading scorer. He's going to have to be big for them in the second half. Shea Illy, as Derek said, starting in this third term. White's off the back of the iron. Melbourne, 7 of 19 now from long range. The three ball has been their friend all season long. 37% of their points come from beyond the arc. Not today.
They start off really well, Andrew. We're having a little decision over which team touched that ball, and the referees decided they couldn't decide, so jump ball and Illawarra retained possession.
Well, you'd rather that than just having a wild guess.
Not in game 5.
No, you just want to make sure.
Shot clock down to 10 for Warning Swakala Bullock with the left hand. Lee kept Olbrich off the glass, and then
Swakala Bullock goes down.
So does Marcus Lee. He's hurt his shoulder. I think Marcus Lee is in real trouble here.
Jack White's going to be called for his third foul. And Marcus Lee's got a problem with his right shoulder.
Did Jack White do anything wrong? Looked like he just stood there and he didn't look like he moved. Have a look at Jack White. Yeah, just a little shuffle in the feet. Just needing to keep his feet stationary. Doesn't move a lot. Probably, to see that? Probably moved 15 centimetres. Not
little
much,
hip and shoulder, little hip and shoulder, Andrew. That's enough.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a good call.
But the bigger sign is Lee down and out.
Yeah, that looked, it was a shoulder issue and it didn't look good.
That looked as though it was out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
The way that he ran off. Matty and Brad will be all over that in a moment. Harvey got Illy up in the air. This floater short. Matthew Dellavedova back out there. Just 2 points in the first half. He's one of the leading candidates to be player of the series. It's pass for low.
Not beautiful schematically, but they got the desired result just off of a nice back cut and a pass from Delhi.
To a single-figure game. Blanchfield tried to force one there. Excellent hustle from Swakala Bullock. And then he fouls Illy. Tension inside this building right now.
They're pleading for an unsportsmanlike. There was defenders.
I think it's incidental contact, but his contact from behind. Yeah. I'm happy to have it reviewed.
Replay centre.
It's a legitimate play
I have
on
a
the
normal
ball.
foul on Swaka, so just want to check if it's
there's the incident. Replay centre will take a look at this. In the meantime, Matt Russell has got an update from the Melbourne bench.
Yes, Marcus Lee straight into the rooms, followed quickly by the high-performance team. The arm was just hanging by the side. For all intents and purposes, it looks like a dislocated shoulder, and Marcus Lee still being worked on in the rooms.
Let's see if we can find it here, Derek.
Right there. Right shoulder.
He's had some challenges with his body in the last couple of years. Missed a lot of last year's championship series with a knee issue.
They've called that one unsportsmanlike. I didn't think it was going to go that way, but Illy will go to the line to shoot to a little bit of a turn in the momentum here. And the past couple of possessions from Illawarra, we've seen him get caught up in the emotion again, being impatient, forcing bad plays. And they've allowed Melbourne United to put together a little bit of a run.
Brad Rosen courtside.
Yeah, I'm just standing down here near the Illawarra bench, and Trey Kell's on the bike, and he is yelling out to his bench. He wants to get into the game. We look at game 3, what happened here in Illawarra, and they went on a 3-point rampage and tried to get scores, and they couldn't. Illawarra need to learn from this situation. That's 4 bad possessions as Trey Kell will now check into the game.
Well, there's a plus 15 in that first half, so he had the highest plus-minus on the floor.
Good run here from United, and they'll be back on the line. They started this third quarter well. Third quarters have been a bit of a problem for them in the series. Illawarra a plus 15 in the third term. And this is the thing with Melbourne United, Gazy and Derek, and we've seen this all season long from them, is they will not go away.
They've got a lot of guile, and they're a very smart basketball team, and they figure out ways to take advantage of whatever vulnerabilities the opposition may have. And right now, Illawarra's vulnerability is overconfidence and getting caught up in the moment.
Now, this is not dissimilar to how the game started. They got down 10 really early. You know, they started the second with a 10-point buffer, but that is, well, he is quickly being evaporated.
They score the last 8, Melbourne, and it's back to 4 the difference. Game 5 of the championship series at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Shea Illy takes contact to the face here, remembering that he has just returned from concussion symptoms.
Oh, man, that head, man. Running his shoulder over it. Trying to fight over the top of the screens. It's tough when you're that low to the ground, going up against the bigger bodies.
He is as tough as a $2 steak, though. It'll take a lot to keep Shea Illy out of the rest of this game. Trey Kell back out there, as Brad Rosen told us. Impactful in the first half. Sparkle a bullet. Little floater. Gets a nice roll and a steadying bucket for the Hawks.
He's been really effective. 14 points on 5 of 7 shooting.
Certainly held up his end of the bargain defensively. Dellavedova, watch Hickey fly by. He just cannot get into this game. He's been brilliant across the series, but this is not his game, and now he gives away a foul. He's having a nightmare right now.
And that was a good screen there by Ulbrich and Dellavedova. We've seen the work that he does on the offensive end with the left shoulder. Well, he applies it to Lachlan Ulbrich's sternum there, Drewy.
Yeah, he didn't make too much of an effort to go over the top of the screen. There's Marcus Lee. Looks like he's doesn't look too bad, really, all things considered, the way he walked off.
He gets to Matty Russell. Next opportunity on that one. Hawks almost gave it up. Shot clock at 8. Ulbrich denied by Lowe. Nice D. Did well not to foul. Golding with ball in hand only has the 5 points in the game. 2 of 8 shooting. And that clip will not improve.
I feel that he's trying to figure out a way to get himself in the game. Probably a little bit more patience and ball movement would be better off.
Dellavedova all up and in on Trey Kell. In his return game tonight, has 9 points. Can't add to it. Offensive rebound by Hickey. He's been a monster everywhere in this game.
This is his 4th offensive rebound in the contest. Tough.
Super tough from Ulbrich.
The composure, Drewy, is most impressive.
And he made that look a whole lot easier than it actually was. Up against Rob Lowe, good touch around the rim.
20 years of age, Lockie Ulbrich.
Chris Golding gets called for the foul. Trying to run some Spain action. So he's trying to come and sit. Just went length forward.
More on the soft side, and Ulbrich does a good job of selling it upon contact, but Jack, I didn't see much force there from that screen.
Yeah, just a mild extension of the arm, I guess, is what brought him undone, but you're right, there wasn't, again, it's all relative to what we've seen allowed throughout the course of the game.
Matty Russell, you've got some news on Marcus Lee.
Great news for Melbourne. He's been cleared to return to the game. It was actually a pinched nerve in his neck that paralysed the arm. A quick neck massage has freed it all up. So great news for Melbourne, averaging 8 points per game in the grand final series at 60% and more than 8 rebounds. They need Marcus Lee, and he's clear to return.
Great news for Melbourne. Nice work as well, Matty, to stay across that one. Dumps it straight back to Ian Clark with the mismatch.
Whoa.
Ulbrich sends him packing with authority.
Yeah, there was a bit of a statement about that block, wasn't it? Ulbrich there timed it perfectly as Damon Lowry and Melvin Thomas, 2 of the stars of another era.
Big time block by the youngster. Hawks having a good few minutes. Dellavedova can't score from the field, so gets himself to the line. Here's the Amy replay.
Ulbrich does a great job with his timing. Didn't even let that ball get up towards the backboard. Takes the goaltending possibility right away.
And you mentioned Matthew Dellavedova with some of his struggles. He's 1 of 4 from the field, and he misses that free throw. But in game 4, he had 17 field goal attempts. So the Illawarra Hawks have done an unbelievable job of denying him opportunities, and he can create opportunities himself with the body movement, but they've just completely taken away opportunities. And there's Burgers, the delicious cheeseburger, courtesy of our very fine friends at Hungry Jack's.
Code word is baller. Guess what we're doing on the way back to the airport tonight, Drewy? We are chomping down.
Oh, we are. But not coming up with the O boards off a free throw. That upsets coaches.
5 minutes remaining in the third term. Golding crosses over on Olbrich. His struggles continue. Lowe just wrestled out of the arms of Kell. Here's Flynn Cameron. No good as well. Kell got after it. Downhill. Can't finish off. Hickey, foul! And one!
Great nose for the basketball, as I mentioned, and Will Hickey celebrates with this Wollongong crowd. Big-time tournament play there, Andrew.
My word, it is. And here it is. They should have come. Flynn Cameron comes up with it, or gets ripped from his hands, and at a worst set of circumstances, he fouls the shooter when he had secured the ball.
What a series that Will Hickey is having. And what a game 5 this young man is having. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, plus 5 for the game.
Chris Golding, 1 of 8, and of those 8, they've all been, maybe bar one, ridiculously tough shots.
Greta did well to wall up, no foul. Hawks have scored the last 7. Olbrich makes it 9 unanswered points, and Melbourne have got a massive problem now.
Great use of the spin move and deft touch to bank that shot in over the big man, Rob Lowe.
This next 3.5 minutes could decide the game.
Offensive rebound, Bowen, and Golding is fouled in the action of shooting 3. So some relief for Melbourne from the free throw line. They went on a run of their own, and now they can't score.
No, they can't. And even this one was a real tough shot by Ian Clark, trailing by 13. They start to go 1 out, and just everyone taking matters into their own hands. That is a formula for disaster if you're Melbourne United.
Well, they're trying to find someone that can give them a good scoring punch and provide some playmaking, considering Dellavedova's struggles as Golding knocks the first one down. And who is it going to be? Maybe Ely, but he just hasn't been logging the minutes over the past week or so. But I think they're really challenged offensively right now, Melbourne United.
They're doing a better job on the O boards. They've come up with 3 of them already. And in this one here, that play right there, they don't secure the offensive board. There's a kick out, and they get Chris Golding to the free throw line. It just takes the wind out of the sails ever so slightly of the Illawarra Hawks. And that is a big, big position for Melbourne United. And Chris Golding gets to knock down 3 free throws. He starts to feel a little bit more happy about himself.
It's just a little moment there for Melbourne.
Yep, and with this 10-point lead, let's see if the Hawks have learned the lessons from last Sunday.
Hickey running the point. Starting to get a little out of control. Shot clock is becoming a problem. This foul will be on Lachlan Olbrich. So that's 4 now on the Illawarra big man. And there's not a lot of depth at the 5 spot with Sam Froling not playing.
And that's true. That's a big, it's not only it's a double whammy because Olbrich gets 4, and what it does is we go down the other end, and when you're struggling to find field goals, work your way to the free throw line. Now, having said that, it is Marcus Lee, who is, what, 2 of 10 in the series? Oh my God. Oh my God.
That is extraordinary.
Now we know he hurt that right shoulder, and I'm not going to say hypothetically because evidently it impacted that free throw attempt.
That just didn't miss.
If you go with the left hand,
He shot that second free throw with the left hand.
And they're giving just a rub punishment into him. They're giving him one more because Illawarra came over broke the line too early. Given the way he shot that first one, it is a good idea to use the left or even go Richard Cunningham style from Happy Days and throw it the old bucket shot. Wow.
That shot actually looks better than his normal, healthy right-handed shot.
Oh, channeling one of the Froling sisters there, shooting left-handed. That worked for him. One Jung Lee's foul.
Chris Golding is pleading that there was no contact. He's untying his shoe to buy time for Dean Vickerman's staff to look at the replay. Yeah. We saw that maneuver. That's a foul, Drew. They're going to call that one.
It is.
And they're going to challenge this call.
Too late.
Too late.
Too late.
It's too late.
And I think it's probably good that it's too late because based on what we saw, I'm not sure he would have won that challenge.
And Melbourne United are furious at the bench. It's no point being furious at the bench. The officials, the three men out there said, it's too late.
And it's not too bad because Young Jung Lee missed the first one.
And the second.
Yeah, it's a good non-challenge, no challenge in hindsight.
You need some luck, Andrew, and Melbourne United got a stroke of it there.
Normally an 82% free throw shooter for the season. One Jung Lee.
I reckon he almost hurried that first one knowing that they wanted a challenge.
Well, we saw Chris Golding do that, I believe, in Game 4.
Clock ticks down to 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Illawarra led by 10 at the main break, and that is the margin as it stands. So Melbourne have not been able to make any ground on the Hawks in this third quarter. Swarkle Bullock slipped over, Dellavedova for three! Moment of truth for Matthew Dellavedova.
Has a knack for finding a way to get it done when it's most needed. Big three there from Dellavedova, 5.6 assists.
Yes, the deep sigh of relief as he ran past us. Hickey's floater off target. It's reeled in by Tyler Harvey. Shot clock down to single figures. Illy picks it off.
Great hands by Shea Illy.
Melbourne starting to get going. Illy off balance. Can't make a dent in that margin. And Trey Kell fouled. Points are going to count. He threw up a prayer, and his prayers were answered.
Kyle Bowen got caught in an unfortunate situation in slow transition. Gets isolated on Trey Kell, who's performing very well. And Kell gets to a seam, creates a contact, and gets a great bounce, Drew.
He certainly does. And again, Dean Vickerman goes back to his small ball lineup for this last 2 minutes of the third. And they've both taken some hits in this third quarter. And we're back to where we started the quarter with a 10-point margin for the Hawks.
A couple of times in this term they've had just some stormy waters, Illawarra, as Melbourne have made a charge, but they've been able to navigate their way through all of those. Golding is fouled with one to come.
He and Dellavedova are trying to lift. They understand the moment and the urgency. And they know they've got to find a way to impact the scoreboard on the offensive end.
And the scoring, compared to the first half, has slowed right down.
You're right, Melbourne United have only scored 17 in this quarter.
All NBL second team, Chris Golding, continuing to put up huge numbers at 36 years of age. He helps his team get back within 7. Kell with the extra pass, and Hickey handles his business.
And not much Jack White can do there with 3 fouls. He's not willing to commit his 4th or even challenge that shot attempt.
From a Melbourne perspective, they can't get any closer than 7 this quarter. Oh, Bowen off the glass. An unlikely bucket, his first points of the game. Here is that hump, that 7-point deficit. Kell got his own rebound. Whistle.
3:15, hold on the rebound.
Free throws continue to rack up for Illawarra.
Well, we saw this trend set early in the game, attacking the paint, post up, just the continued interior offensive push by the Illawarra Hawks, and even this play phase right here. So much activity around the bucket, and Melbourne United are just having a tough time defending in there.
And the Hawks, Drewy, just starting to have a few free throw issues of their own.
Yeah, both these teams, 33 field free throw attempts to United. They've made 22 of them. Now 10 of 15 for the Illawarra Hawks.
Dellavedova and Hickey, the two leading candidates for the championship MVP. What a battle it's been. Golding, this time with the left hand, was bumped.
In that first half, Chris Golding's coming off those stagger screens, and he's flaring out for the three ball. They've made the adjustment as Illawarra Hawks locking and trailing. He's curling, and the last two times he's got to the free throw line, he's been able to get into the paint off that curl and figure other ways to score as Ian Clark goes off with a bit of dead arm himself. Right arm. He might need some of that special massage treatment himself.
Listen, the chance for Chris Golding.
Well, he has figured out how to impact on the offensive end. He's 1 of 8 from the three-point line, and you see he's kind of abandoned that strategy, getting into the curl cuts, as you said, getting Swapala-Bullock on his hip and trying to take advantage from that situation. He's starting to find a little rhythm in this game.
We can't tell you what the chances were, but we can tell you that one of the words rhymes with banker. Kell from the mid-range.
Too easy.
Quick response for the Hawks. Dellavedova trying to find a bucket. Clever knockout from Bowen. Back to Lowe. He's no good either. Harvey desperate.
Great save.
Hawks are playing like a team who won it. 10-point lead.
Wow. Talk about going from looking ginger pre-game to absolutely coming out here and getting it done. Trey Kell with 16, 8, and 7.
What a swing.
Hickey knocks that out of play.
They cut it to 5, and within 15 seconds, it goes back out to 10. With Trey Kell getting busy.
However, a bucket here, Jack, and it's been a positive quarter for Melbourne United.
4.2 on the clock for Melbourne. Normally specialists off the inbound. Illy didn't know it was coming. The Hawks have one hand on the NBL Championship trophy. They lead by 10 with a quarter to play inside the Wynn Entertainment Centre. The finish to the NBL 25 season is next.
It's your journey, it's your drive. With City Motors Group, we rise together.
All right, it is time for our City Motors Group mid-court mayhem we've been doing all season, and it is time to see if Justin, in the final game of this season, can get $1,000 cash.
All right, Justin, take the ball, we'll cash it down. Are you ready?
Get ready.
Let's do it. Here we go, wait for our count.
Oh, he's got his Jordans on. He's ready to fly. He could done this. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
That's a bucket! That's a bucket! I like this matchup right here. I like this matchup. Come on, Wani! Wani! Yeah, Wani!
A fired-up Damon Lowry in the zone for Harvey Norman. He helped deliver the Hawks' first and only NBL championship in 2001. The current crop are 10 good minutes away from becoming the first regional team ever to win an NBL championship on their home floor. Out of the Melbourne three-quarter time, I can tell you that Ian Clark, no laughing matter. He copped a whack on the funny bone. He's good to return, but it is his shooting armour. He copped the knock. Brad Rosen, down to you.
Well, first Sam Froling looked at his team and said, stay composed, there's only 10 minutes to go. Then Coach Tatum came in and said, play through the elbows and look through the back doors. That's what we want to do. Matty, you and I have been here for 10 years. I can tell you now, 5,686 people, which is the largest crowd ever for the Illawarra Hawks are here today.
Great work, Brad and Matty. We start the last.
Brilliant.
Wow. Brilliant offense from the Hawks.
Sharp. They did. They recognise what they're doing on the hard shows. They get it to the short guy in the corner, and the roller is wide open. That third period, they just continued to pound the paint. Only took a couple of threes. That's huge.
Jack White knocks down a corner three, gets himself back into the game. Keep in mind, he has 3 fouls. He's got to be really good defensively.
There's that magical number of 7 again that we were talking about in the third quarter. United just struggling to get any closer than that. And then Peatling throws it out of bounds.
The Cardinals in. You never fake a backdoor. And that time, Trey Kell, he was going to be open, but just put the brakes on. But this one here in the corner, see Todd Blanchfield in a help position. Not terrible defense, just good shot.
Illy dumps it back out for Rob Lowe. Will Hickey with another rebound. That's 7 to go with his 17 points. Tyler Harvey can't connect. The score of his series.
Yeah, and Jack, Illawarra must not lose their focus on what their purpose should be offensively.
Willie finds a way through. Brad Rosen mentioned it in the third quarter. Last Sunday we were here in Illawarra. They had a lead at three-quarter time and they went 0 of 12 from deep in the fourth quarter. They tried to blaze away and win the game.
And right now they're plus 20 with points in the paint. Continue to penetrate, push it down inside on post-ups. But Melbourne are vulnerable in there, although Dean Vickerman had saved his big men. They're not in foul trouble anymore, so he can use Lowe and Lee a lot in this fourth quarter.
No, spot on. I don't have any problems on that last shot by Harvey. He's wide open from the three-point line. He's never going to get that wide open in a half-court situation. They're the ones you just got to rely on him to knock it down. But, yeah, if they've learned any lessons across the checks and balances throughout the course of this quarter, trying to go for the home run has let them down previously. Stick to what's worked, and that is pounding it into the paint, up the dribble or the pass.
84-79. The season swinging in the breeze right now. The Hawks with a slender lead. Tough from Kell. Super tough.
Well, he's cooking right now. 7 of 11 from the field for his 19 points. And all of these points are immensely valuable as he battles with Delhi.
And has answered a lot of criticism from those who said that he should have been out there on Wednesday. The extra few days rest has worked.
Well, spot on, but you can see why that they were so keen to get him going, how much of an impact he can have.
Golding continues to shoot with hands in the faces.
Terrible shot by Chris Golding.
3 of 12 from the field, 1 of 9 from long range. The Hawks have done such a brilliant job quelling him throughout the championship series. Hickey for Harvey, beautiful pass. It's back to a 10-point lead. Timeout Melbourne. The Hawks playing like winners in Game 5.
And after a couple of bad possessions on the offensive end, the Hawks firstly threw Trey Kell with a tough step-back three, and then Tyler Harvey gets a nice back cut. They get this lead back out to 10. And Melbourne United were working their way back in defensively, but now, as the time ticks, the pressure grows on United.
It certainly does, and this next 3 minutes, if they don't eat into this 10-point lead in the next 3 minutes, it's hard to see how they could get there, given the problems they've had from the three-point line. 9 of 27, not horrifically bad, but not at the level if you're going to reel in a big lead. And a 10-point lead in this one is it's not insurmountable, but it is big.
89-79. Illawarra with a double-figure lead in the fourth quarter in Game 5. They've got a packed Win Entertainment Centre behind them. They've got an entire region that are watching on. And right now, they look the goods. Still a long way to go in the game. Momentum is squarely theirs. Another unsuccessful look from Golding. And Will Hickey determined to take the Hawks to the championship.
Well, you're coming out of a timeout, so you suspect that was clearly a design play. Little twist action on the weak side with the first cutter, and that should
almost be unsportsmanlike.
To me, would meet a fair chunk of the criteria. But when your three-point threat now in Chris Golding is 1 of 10. I understand that he's been your man for a long time. He's a superstar of the competition, but perhaps he's not the priority given his struggles in this game.
Matt Russell, you were listening in the timeouts.
Absolutely. Dean Vickerman involved with 7 NBL championships as a head coach or assistant said, don't think of it as a 10-point deficit. Just get it back to 6, get it back to 4, apply the pressure, sow the seeds of doubt. He drew up that play for Chris Golding. Drew a spot on. All that was missing was the finish. Brad Rosen, down to you.
It was all about pace. They came into the timeout. Coach Tatum didn't even want his whiteboard. He just said, play with pace, get up and down the court. If you're tired, let me know. Let's go. Let's win this. 7 minutes to go to a championship.
This was an interesting one on the sideline as they tried to get it to William Hickey, and Jack White applied a lot of pressure. It looked like there may have been contact from behind by White. They didn't call it. Melbourne United get a valuable possession back.
Let's have another look at it.
Yeah, with the elbow, the right elbow of Jack White. Sneaky little nudge.
Well, that would have been his 4th foul. And Melbourne United catch a big break, Jack.
Andrew Gay said it. Melbourne are running out of time to eat into the 10-point deficit. Great D from Blanchfield. Forces Clark to go to plan B, and he can't score.
It's hard work on that end, Andrew, for them.
Trey Kell has been enormous with 19 points. Hickey has been enormous all series long.
Wow.
When you want something bad enough, you'll do anything it takes to make it happen.
The hesitation step at the end throws Lee off balance defensively. Hickey so clever at finishing in those situations.
Another example of making a tough shot look really easy. The body control to not travel, to come in here and read the defense so he knows who's up against. He knows there is a shot blocker going at him, and that hesitation, just spectacular by Hickey with the nous for that play, and that's 4 fouls.
19 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. There is still a pulse for Melbourne United. Illy flies up the floor. Roblo needs to knock this down. He can't. Olbrich on the glass. Ball falls into the arms of Tyler Harvey. Less than 6 minutes left. Hickey assesses the situation. Ulbrich stripped by Illy, good hands. And Harvey concedes a personal foul.
Well, they've got to play that game, Derek, where right now you've got a nice lead. So the clock, you want to try and run as much down as you possibly can, but you don't want to go negative and force yourself into tough shots in that last 4 to 6 seconds.
Timeout called by the Hawks. They've got a couple at their disposal. Tangerine timeout. 91-79. We've sung his praises all series long, Derek Rucker. But when it's mattered most, Will Hickey has been incredible.
And after receiving some heavy scrutiny in games 1 and 2 for how he handled matchups on his penetration, he started this one off nicely, and then he started to get the touch and all the skills and the confidence. But Andrew, they haven't been able to keep him out of the paint, Melbourne United. And this is a guy who you must stay connected to on the defensive end because of his activity levels.
It hasn't been a dominant, completely dominant series overall, but it's been a dominant performance when they've needed him most.
Yeah.
And that, to me, when you look at it, would put him in strong contention for the overall series MVP. Here's the numbers for games 1 to 4. With the 14 points, 5 assists in 22 minutes of action.
And one of the other great things that he deserves credit for is he's playing with 2 first-team All-NBL guys, and he finds his way to make that type of contribution in the biggest game of his career.
19-8-5. Nice take from Illy. Out of that timeout.
And to me, that should be the first option right now for Melbourne United. See if you can't get to the rim. Don't worry about getting this back too quickly with the 3 ball. Just get the more high percentage.
The Hawks much more patient in the 4th quarter today, making sure that every shot is the right one.
The angles weren't great in that possession, but when you got a guy as talented as Harvey, all you want is space and the opportunity to raise up, and he can finish.
Illawarra almost daring Shea Illy and Jack White to shoot the 3. And then blocked. Huge play from Harvey.
They got numbers.
Hickey back to Harvey. 14-point lead. This place is shaking.
I can sense it now because they have blanketed Melbourne United. Gee, just like that. Again, I'm not sure that was a real great shot, but the brilliance of Chris Golding had to knock it down.
Well, the need to play with risk, considering the situation now, Andrew, is increased for Melbourne United.
They're still in touch. 11-point ball game.
Absolute prayer from Golding, a turnover. A sloppy one.
Wow. Great speed from Illy on the push.
And the foul on Todd Blanchfield. Brad Rosen courtside.
To Illawarra, though, he's very happy with the way they were playing. He wanted to get the ball through Lockie Ulbrich, push with pace, and you see they get 2 good layups. That last possession, and there's one right there, that last possession, you can just see that they got the ball in the block, and that's what they wanted, but the turnovers, that's what they got to take care of. Matty, how about the other end?
Work for Melbourne to do, but plenty of time to go on this one with 4 minutes left. In the 2 games the Hawks have won in this grand final series, they have bashed the United team on the boards. They are doing so again at 44-30, rebounding. Might just get the Hawks the championship.
Now, we mentioned that earlier on, and the signs were there early on as well. And free throw shooting, they missed 12, 26 of 38.
And obviously, you're not going to be expected to make all 12 of the ones you missed. But certainly, they've left out 6-7 points on the free throw line if they would shoot to their normal standard.
100%. And throughout this final series, it's really been their Achilles heel.
Final 4 minutes of the season. Illawarra with some space and some room to move.
Whoa.
Ulbrich taking it upon himself. Doesn't score. Hickey, another offensive rebound.
He's everywhere.
Harvey dribbles through the contact. All sorts of physicality going on under the basket.
Chris Golding gets the foul. But Will Hickey, just the relentless pursuit of the boards at both ends of the floor. Just everything you want to see as far as desperation to help your team out on the glass.
He has 9 rebounds in the game, Drew. 5 of them have been O-balls. It's just desire. Another offensive rebound to Illawarra. It results in 2 more for Tyler Harvey. They are feeling it now, the Hawks.
Yeah, this is Tyler Harvey. He's been able to get to the rim. Got a couple of back cuts. And to stay with the play. Misses it. Reads his own shot. Gets the O boards and puts in an easy one for 2. He's battled away hard as well. 8 of 17, 16 points. 0 of 3 from the three-point line. And the impressive thing is he's only taken 3. We've known Tyler Harvey just to go out there and try and blaze away.
Yep.
But he's shown poise and trying to get into the paint, which has clearly been the plan by the Illawarra Hawks in this one.
And Jack, this was always the danger for Melbourne United, going against a team this talented and potent on the offensive end, who have been held down primarily throughout the course of this series. This type of explosion was possible, and Melbourne United haven't been able to stem these waves that the Hawks have hit them with on the offensive end. 97 points already.
Now, the dominance on the board is something that Melbourne United are going to look back on. And when you're a team that shoots a lot of threes and has taken 31, it does put you sometimes in more difficult rebounding positions. But notwithstanding that, just the eye test says that the Illawarra Hawks have wanted the boards a little bit more than Melbourne United.
We hope the noise coming through your TVs at home does it justice for just how loud it is inside the Win Entertainment Centre right now. Nice finish from Shea Ellie.
Well, that play was critical. Now, you're going to see the Illawarra Hawks, unless something's wide open, they won't be looking for a shot until it's down to the last 6 seconds of the shot clock. They want to chew up as much time as they possibly can.
A couple of turnovers in the 4th quarter. Justin Tatum, no doubt, calling for calm. Hickey only knows one way.
And the hang time.
The hang time and the lean back. Puts it in off the glass. Will Hickey, just incredible run.
21 points in the game. Ellie misses the layup and then concedes the foul.
Now, there is going to have to be a complete and total implosion by the Illawarra Hawks for them to lose that one. When Shea Ellie, wide open layup. And that's what happens sometimes when pressure starts to get to you. And sometimes it's perceived pressure more than actual pressure.
But he's been very good, 17 points and returning from the concussion-like symptoms, but didn't get the finish there.
Every single person inside the Win Entertainment Centre on their feet right now. The Hawks are on the edge of glory. Hickey, great pass inside.
We're witnessing the growth of a superstar in Lockie Aldridge.
Games 4 and 5, Ulbrich has held it down in the paint for the Hawks.
Oops. He had a little rush of blood to the head there.
Well, the shot was going to be easier than the pass.
Clark from deep. Cuts it back to 11. Time is the friend of the Hawks. Justin Tatum screaming at his men to make good decisions. Swakala Bullock passes it up.
Good decision.
Shot clock winds down into single figures. 90 seconds left in game 5. Make a name for yourself, kid. You can't. The party's already started, though. Kell on the move.
The white flag's gone up by Melbourne United. They've given up on that defensive transition. And what a result for the Illawarra Hawks.
Well, the inability to control dribble penetration, to defend around the basket. And Dean Vickerman had to go with the smaller lineup throughout the course of this game, and it just has not worked. They have not been able to stymie this offensive momentum and pressure from the Illawarra Hawks.
And Justin Tatum, again, had to come up with a plan. He loses one of his most significant and influential players in Sam Froling. And it's seamless without one of their stars.
It is now a genuine party. And he's going to be a party for a few days to come. There's Sam Froling, not part of Game 5. They're doing the nut bush inside there. Look at this full.
Oh, man. I wish I hadn't have seen that, but when you talk about Sam Froling, you would have thought the Hawks would have really suffered inside. Andrew, they're approaching their season best points in the paint number. They've got 60 points in the paint in this game.
Yeah, it's a huge number. Wow.
Subs come through for Melbourne United. Chris Goulding comes out. He was desperate to stay out there. Jack White coming out as well. 1 minute and 6 seconds to play. Full court press from Melbourne. They're desperate for a turnover. Now they'll have to foul Wani Swakala-Bullock.
Well, they bring in some fresh bodies to try and give a little bit more punch in their extended full court pressure. Dean Vickerman's going offense and defensive lineups. So he takes Coppins and Krebs. They were in for 8 seconds.
But Andrew, I thought in Game 4, midway through the fourth quarter, we started to see the physical toll that this series was having on Melbourne United, more so than Illawarra. I think Illawarra, just that little bit of extra youth has worked in their favor, and Trey Kell's injury has turned out to work in their favor here in Game 5 because he's been extremely fresh and playing with a lot of pop.
Wani Swakala-Bullock makes both free throws.
And he needs a lot of credit for what he's done. Correct. His offense is off the charts. He's been able to knock down 3 balls incredibly efficiently, and he's done an unbelievable job as the primary defender on Chris Goulding. And this joint has gone completely punter.
It's as loud as I've ever heard inside an NBL venue.
An amazing turnaround in this club. Justin Tatum has brought them back from places where no club ever wants to be. And now, just 20 months after being put in the position, he is on the verge of celebrating his first NBL championship.
And think of the fans, Derek and Drewy. Think of the fans of the Illawarra Hawks. It's not just a basketball team. It's not just a club. It is a part of their life in this region.
It is, and I think that we've seen the growth of Lockie Aldrich and Tyler Harvey continues to flourish. Swakala-Bullock we've spoken about, but also hats off to Todd Blanchfield. 438 NBL games. He has been a warrior in the NBL, and he finally gets to taste the ultimate prize of an NBL championship. Well done, Toddy.
There are some tremendous stories that are going to come out of today. Lockie Aldrich, unfortunately, is not going to be out there for the final parts of the game. He fouls out, but at 20 years of age, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, plus 14. We have seen the emergence of a young star in the NBL.
A superstar. You need a little bit more than just start. He has got it all and just needs to tidy up his work at the free throw line. And he has been spoken about as receiving a lot of NBA interest, and for those that out there haven't followed his career, maybe seen him in bits and pieces, you've seen today and throughout this series why he's in that conversation.
Unfortunately for Melbourne and for Chris Golding, the pain and the agony of a Game 5 championship defeat is something that they are going to have to live with 2 seasons in a row. Last minute of the game. The Hawks can soak this all up now. Melbourne will try and play the free throw game.
And rarely, Andrew, in our league, does a team pretty much dominate throughout the course of the regular season and go on and win this title. But this is the most deserving of NBL titles, as the Hawks were clearly the best team throughout NBL 25. 100%. And it's even more special, I think, given what they went through in losing Trey Kell, in losing Sam Froling, to show just that fortitude to believe in what they do and get this Game 5 victory here in Wollongong.
No, well said. I think when you have such a dominant season like they do, it can be all coming undone, and if you don't have to go back too far, that Game 2, point down with 6 seconds to go, and if that doesn't go in, things could be a whole lot different. And sometimes the fickle hand of fate, moves in a mysterious way.
He knocks someone out of the hands of Peatling. They're going to try all the way to the end, Melbourne, but it's a bridge too far. Wang Jung Lee back in, maybe to land one more knockout blow.
Oh, this is the most beautiful part of winning a championship, when you know you've got it won. Hey, fellas, knock yourself out. We want this to go, this last 41 seconds to go on for hours if we can, just to enjoy the joy of winning a championship.
Incredible performance from Trey Kell. Far from 100%. He's got 22 points. Make that 24 as Illy knocks down a 3 of his own. Hawks beat the trap once more. And the substitutes will come for Melbourne.
Let's give some praise and respect for Melbourne United as well for the 2nd year in a row. Outstanding throughout the regular season. Only lost 1 less game than the Illawarra Hawks, but had some heartbreaking plays over the last 2 final series, and Will Hickey and Justin Tatum.
Looks like a proud father. He's already got a son who can play. He might have another one.
And you're right, Andrew. The irony with Melbourne United is this team, despite back-to-back championship series losses in Game 5, still are the benchmark for excellence in the National Basketball League. They just don't have the ultimate prize.
Tyler Harvey subbed out of the game. He committed his long-term future to Illawarra. He said, "This is where I want to be." And very shortly, he will be crowned an NBL champion. You talk about some of the stories, some of the good news stories to come out of Illawarra. Think about Dan Greta for a moment. Has had multiple knee reconstructions. It looked as though his career in the NBL was over. He's hung around this Hawks program. He's going to be an NBL champion, and he thoroughly deserves it.
And sometimes, Jack, players get rings without having some type of valuable input. But I believe Dan Greta did a really good job at moments throughout this series in generating some type of defensive intensity and energy as young Zach Triplett gets some minutes in the championship.
Here is Greta. And Luka Yates with a moment for the youngster. A jam to seal the game. Tanner Krebs with a late bomb. The Illawarra Hawks are going to be crowned champions, and they're going to party like it's 2001. Justin Tatum is the miracle man. The best team all season long. The NBL championship now lives in the Gong. For the second time in NBL history, Illawarra are your champions.
Congratulations to Justin Tatum, his staff, and the Illawarra Hawks. A fantastic Game 5 series in which they showed a tremendous amount of mental and then physical toughness in Game 5. Trey Kell was outstanding. Just a great, great effort by the Illawarra Hawks in front of this crowd.
Across the board, the players, the coaches, we've spoken about Justin Tatum and his staff, but also to Matty Campbell and those that have put the team together. They have put together an amazing roster, depth at every position, and they needed it. As we saw here tonight, Damon Lowry, he's just out of control, tremendous passion, and well done, the Illawarra Hawks and the entire town. It's a community town, and walking into this joint as Justin Tatum enjoys the spoils of victory.
Well, we sensed it out at Hoops Fest. If you go back to September to launch the NBL season, they looked physically the most dominant team. They played with an offensive power and horsepower that the other teams didn't possess. And then they got better and just better enough throughout the course of the season and in this series on the defensive end to separate themselves.
My man's all emotional, as he
crying.
should be. That's how, that's what happens when you got that community around you. Justin Tatum again, he is just very proud of what this team's been able to do.
Let's get to Matt Russell.
I hope the Footlocker player of the game can hear me. It is so loud in here. Will Hickey, you went to Southeast Melbourne, didn't work. You went to Melbourne, didn't work. You come to the Hawks, and in Game 4 and Game 5, deliver a championship. Tell me your feelings.
Lost for words. I don't know. I'm just trying to look for my family right now, but I don't know how to. I'm just trying to soak the moment in, to be honest. I'm just trying to soak the moment in.
Many people will say it is fitting that the best team during the regular season, a team that smashed all the 40-minute NBL records, actually wins the championship. How much of an impact does that make on you?
I'm just so proud of us, man. We were down, we were out. It's the grit that we showed. Like two losses on our home court, and to come out and finish it here tonight, like that's making me like really emotional, man. And there's not a lot you can put into words.
To fall behind twice in the grand final series and be written off by many, where did the belief come from to bounce back and win it?
I've been believing in myself my whole life. Nobody's believed in me, right? So why not come out here and instill that belief into us and the fans and Illawarra?
It's great sitting behind the bench week in, week out. What makes this team so special, Will?
The camaraderie. You can look right now. You won't find a smile or you won't find a sad face anywhere around here right now. Every single person in there is happy for the next person.
2 years ago, this club won only 3 games for the season. Its worst season in history. How significant is Justin Tatum?
Right, I don't need to say much. This is the JT impact.
Go and find your family. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that, bro.
It's a remarkable story. A remarkable story of persistence and desire and determination for Will Hickey to be crowned an NBL champion. Let's get over to Joe Healy.
Thank you. I've got Trey Kell with me. Trey, you're an NBL champion. How does that sound?
Great. I mean, from the day I signed, JT and Tyler made it clear this was the goal, and it feels really good, you know, to against a really good team to be a champion. So all that hard work was worth it for sure.
You guys were on top of the ladder all season, but you faced a bit of adversity as well. How proud are you of the grit and resilience of this group?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like that all year for us, honestly. Next man up mentality. Whoever is available to play, we felt like we had a chance to win.
3 sold up and he sold out. That's what it is. 3 sold up and he sold out. Here's Self now. Here's Self. Hell with everything.
And that guy, man, a lot of belief in me. So, yeah, I mean, this atmosphere was crazy. And, yeah, it's time to turn up. It's time to turn up.
What does it mean to the fans? I mean, you can see what it means, but can you describe what this community is like?
I mean, I feel like even probably through the TV, you can probably sense the atmosphere in here. I mean, with 45 minutes on the clock, it was 75% full. The crowd was going crazy already. I heard it in the locker room. So this is what you work for, to get first place and have this advantage if it's a game 5, and we couldn't have did it without him.
An NBL champion, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Trey Kell enormous in game 5, played through injury and got himself out there with 26 points. Back over to Matt Russell.
Well, Tyler Hervey has been a long-time servant of this club. Tyler, there are multiple 2001 championship-winning Hawks in this room now, in tears. What does this championship mean to you?
It means a lot.
Have a listen to this. Tyler can hardly hear me. You might need a moment to gather your sense, but just soak this in. They're saying Illawarra, and you've been a key part of Illawarra for a long time now.
It's just been amazing. You know, when I signed back, you know, it just didn't feel right, off contract. Didn't bring a championship here. This town deserved it. The city deserved it. We got a great group of guys, man, that just came together for one common goal, and we got it done.
And in typical Tyler Harvey fashion, it was a big 3 during the series that gave you the opportunity to come back in game 5 and win it. We need to mention some of your teammates tonight. Will Hickey, speak to us through your expert eyes about Will's role in game 4, game 5.
I mean, Will's growth as a player, I've seen him grow from 3 years ago not playing, a year after that barely playing, coming in late in the year, getting a couple minutes. He's a grinder, he's a winner. Without him, we don't get this championship, man. That man has been unbelievable.
And your backcourt colleague tonight, Trey Kell, incredible off a knee injury.
It's good to have him back, wasn't it? I'm glad my boy sucked it up and played through, you know, some injuries, but he's incredible, man. That man can score. He brings another edge for us, and everybody was great tonight, man.
Indeed. Go and celebrate. Congratulations, Tyler Harvey. Joe Healy standing by with a very, very proud and excited coach. Joe?
Yeah, I got Justin Tatum with me. JT, your first full season as a coach. You're now a champion. Can you even believe what you've achieved?
Not at all. Not at all. More happy for the crowd, for my team, my coaches. You know, I was just a little pawn that happened to be experienced this. But at the end of the day, I'm loving the feeling right now.
You preached toughness to this group all season, and those last 6 quarters that they played are the toughest that we've seen them. How proud are you of this group?
Extremely proud. Extremely proud, man. They didn't, you know, we played bad those quarters, but at the end of the day, those guys found a way to figure it out, and now we're here. Now we're champions.
Family and friends watching back home, have you got a message for them and their support?
I'm bringing the chip back home, St. Louis. I love you. I miss you. Here I come.
Congratulations, enjoy it.
Thanks, Jojo.
What an achievement. What an incredible story. The Illawarra Hawks from the bottom of the ladder to NBL champions in less than 2 seasons.
No, it's spectacular, the turnaround, and the ownership group, the general managers and the coaching staff. It takes a lot to put a team like this together, and they've got the ultimate reward, and you put in the hard work. You can't fluke your way to a championship. They've clearly done it the right way and come from a long way back, and they've done an extraordinary job, and also pay homage to those that come before them as well, because they're building blocks.
An outstanding achievement, and the work started last off-season. They made the right moves, they got the right team together, and now they celebrate as NBL 25 champions.
They win it by 10 points in game 5. The official presentation is up next. Illawarra are your NBL 25 champions.
Please welcome your host for the 2025 Hungry Jacks NBL Championship Series presentation, Jack Hickey.
First time in 24 years, the Illawarra Hawks are NBL champions. And now it's time to throw over to Jack Hickey for the championship trophy presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible Hungry Jacks NBL Championship Series that we have just witnessed, where every second mattered through 5 games. It has been another historic season for the NBL, with an all-time attendance record smashed, a boom in TV audiences, and a thrilling final series to cap off an unforgettable season. The Hungry Jacks NBL would like to acknowledge its corporate partners, especially the naming rights partners in Hungry Jacks, for their amazing support. Thanks also to major partners Kmart, Bunnings, Amy, Mitsubishi Motors, Blackmores, Coca-Cola, Tangerine, Chemist Warehouse, and Sportsbet. And of course, to our broadcast partners, ESPN and Channel 10. Together with all of our wonderful profile partners and all of our suppliers, thank you for an incredible season. The rings are not far away, but before we do that, I'd like to call upon the NBL CEO, Dave Stevenson, to say a few words.
Wow, what an incredible finish to a fantastic season. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank the Illawarra Hawks and Melbourne United. Well, it's been a historic season both on and off court for the NBL. On court, we've seen a whole new level of play, scoring's up, more 40-point games this year than the last 8 seasons put together. So please thank all of the players and coaches all around the league. And off court, we've broken every single record, including today being the 55th sellout of the season, a new attendance record, first time in 31 years. So congratulations to all the fans, and thank you so much for the work that you do and the clubs who deserve so much credit for elevating the game day experience. Thank you. Now, I know Jack thanked all of our partners, but in particular, I wanted to thank Jack Cowan, the founder of Hungry Jacks, who's here today, who's been an instrumental partner for so many years. Please, thank you very much, Jack Cowan. And all of our broadcast partners, ESPN, Channel 10, have delivered record results. And I also wanted to thank all of the NBL staff who have worked tirelessly to deliver this fantastic season. Thank you, team. Now to Melbourne United, commiserations, but congratulations on a great season. You continue to be a benchmark. I think to Chris, Dean, Nick, Mike and the team, thank you for everything you've done, and you should look back at this season with a great sense of pride. And now to your champions, Illawarra Hawks. to Tyler, Sam, Todd, and the rest of the playing group, the coach Justin, you have been the benchmark throughout the year. You finished on top of the ladder and you fully deserve this championship. Congratulations. So as we say thank you to everyone involved in the game, let's celebrate long and hard this title, and I promise you that next year will be even bigger and better. Dream big. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. Commiserations to Melbourne United. For every winner, of course, there must be a loser. And I'd now like to invite United's captain, Chris Goulding, to the stage to say a few words.
Firstly, I want to congratulate the Hawks. I think the last 18, 24 months have been nothing short of remarkable, so congratulations, enjoy it, guys. I want to thank the NBL and the Hungry Jacks for putting on another amazing season. There's superb growth. Our league is heading in an amazing direction, so thank you to the NBL and their major partner, Hungry Jacks. To our major partners, NG, Tyre Power, Ozito, and Trojan Tools, thank you for your support. We couldn't do this without you, so thank you for everything you do for the club. To our ownership group, to our members, and to the families of our players and staff, you guys sacrifice so much to be able to put us in positions like this. So I apologize for not being able to get it done, but we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for allowing us to do what we love. Once again to the Hawks, Mace, Davo, guys that have been a part of our program. Zach Triplett, we congratulate you guys. We know what stand-up men, young men you are, and I'm sure you're a massive reason why the Hawks got it done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chris. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage a five-time NBL champion and the inaugural Championship Series MVP, Mr. Larry Senstock, to produce and present the Larry Senstock Trophy for the Championship MVP.
Thank you. Let me just say what a fantastic series of basketball. This is amazing to watch. The series is voted on over the 5 games, and there are 5 judges, and it was a very close finish. But the winner of the MVP for the final series is Matthew Dellavedova.
Hold on. Davo, this really belongs to you. You had a hell of a series. Congratulations on the win. To our boys, thanks for a fun season. To our families, we appreciate everything you do. But Davo, this is yours.
moment that'll live forever. Okay, now we get to the part that you have all been waiting for. To our champions, the Illawarra Hawks, you have truly earned this moment. Let's bring up the players. Number 0, Darius Days. Number 1, Tyler Harvey. Number 2, H.J. Lee. I think this one's going to be pretty loud. Number 6, Davo Hickey. Don't worry, we didn't forget you. Number 3, Trey Kell. Number 9, Wani Swaka Labullet. Number 11, Dan Greeder. He's waited a long, long time for this one. Number 21, Todd Blanchfield. Number 22, Mason Peatley. Number 30, Lachlan Albrecht. And of course, it takes an army to win an NBL championship. The assistant coaches, Joel Carlu, Sam Gruggan, and Matt Flynn. The Hawks high performance manager, Alex Moore. Illawarra's head of medical, Scott Mutton. And the team manager, the heart and soul of this place, you know him as Big Joe. The Illawarra Hawks would also like to recognise Tom Cranny, Kwani, Luca Yates, Zach Triplett, Kobe McDowell-White, Rod Tremlett, Jalen Manu, Q Shim, Kumar Mannix, Dr. Brad Harvey, and Uncle Phil Driscoll, OAM. Please put your hands together. And now, joining Tyler Harvey on stage, your co-captain, Sam Froling.
First and foremost, we want to thank the Hawks family for coming out tonight. You guys have been unbelievable throughout this journey, the ups to downs, so thank y'all. We want to congratulate Melbourne on the tough series. I mean, it's a battle going against them every single night, so congrats to them. We want to also thank the NBL and the league partners for a great final series. Thanks to our Hawks partners and all their support, in particular, Multi-Civil and Rail Services and Greater Bank for always having our back. And once again, to the entire Hawks organization, from the ownership, front office, to support staff, we want to say thank you. This was for you, Illawarra. Thank you.
I just want to thank these guys all here. Obviously, I wanted to be out there tonight, but they all stepped up. I also want to congratulate Melbourne. High-quality organisation, high-quality people. I go down, you lose at home, you all come up and comfort me, so thank you guys. Really appreciate it. 2 grand finals is nothing in a row, is nothing to be sneezed at. You've been consistently the best club in this conference competition for a long time. It was an honour to battle, and yeah, just congratulations, guys.
And now Illawarra, the man who has led the charge, your coach, Justin Tatum.
What they gonna say now, Dave? What's up, Illawarra? Okay. I got something to read. Okay. Emma took care of me. First, I want to congratulate Dean Vickerman, Melbourne United, man. That was a hell of a series. That could have went either way, man. I tip my hat off to you guys. I appreciate the competitive nature. Thank you to our Hawks partners. All the support, everybody that showed up. Listen, game 2 and 4 was unbelievable. I mean, unfortunately, you know, the first team who won at home was gonna win the series. That was a crazy series. But game 2 and 4 was unbelievable for us because we played and fed off of what you guys believed in. Even the crowd that showed up in Melbourne, we heard you. We heard you. You helped push us through. I want to give a special shout out to one person, though. She might not be here. You helped us through game 2 of Miss Irma Martin. You probably don't know, you sent us 30 quotes that day, and all of them was positive. Each player grabbed a quote that you sent us, and we read it. And the one that Tyler used, and when he made that shot for us to win, it was like his quote was meaningful to him, because what did he say, Tyler? You go ahead and tell us. You remember?
It was along the lines of just having self-trust in yourself. That's the first steps to success. So thanks for that quote.
All season long, you know, we believed in ourselves, and we know that you guys believed in us. We definitely did. And we know that you guys believed in us well. So this means so much. From 23, 24 years ago, you didn't celebrate it at home. Today you are. Today you are. Today you are. Illawarra, we're partying all month, all year. Starting today, Illawarra, I see you in the streets. Let's go, baby.
I think you might want this, JT. You take your ring. I'd now like to invite the NBL CEO, Mr. Dave Stevenson, back to the stage to present the NBL Championship Trophy to the NBL 25 champions, the Illawarra Hawks.
The streamers have ran down on the Illawarra Hawks. They were the best team all year. They were the best team tonight. They bucked the trend of the road teams winning. Brad Rosen, Peter Hooley, Leonard Copeland. You three have also done a fantastic job all season. But tonight, the Illawarra Hawks reign supreme.
And it feels right. I mean, you go back way to the Blitz, the Hoops Fest, the best team all season long, the best story. We saw it all in the preseason. We saw it last season when Justin Tatum took over. They were the benchmark for the reason. It was going to take a mighty effort if someone could knock them off their perch. Numerous times, even in this series, we thought perhaps they just can't get over the hump. But when it mattered most, everybody stood up, and it's special to witness it in here. The energy, all the playing group, the best team in the league are the champions.
And I'm just proud for this Illawarra team. 12 months ago, Coach Tatum decided that he wanted Trey Kell. That was his man, and everyone thought once Gary Clark goes, what's going to happen with this team? He got him, and what about the resurgence of Davo Hickey? What an outstanding season he's had, and this is an outstanding ball club that was the fastest-paced team in the league, and Coach, they were #1 in so many departments and thoroughly deserved.
And you know how hard it is to stay #1 the whole season and win a championship? These guys deserve what they've given to the NBL, to their fans. They were spectacular. And I said before, there needed to be one superstar. I thought Davo Hickey was amazing because not only did he play well on the offensive end, but he shut Chris Golding, one of the best players in the league, down. Or didn't shut him down, but he contained him, and he did a fantastic job.
Brad, I want to come to you here because, you know, as a travel and commentary crew, we only really started coming to Illawarra when they got good. You've been around for a long time. You're around in the dark days. You're around for a championship, and I can see a little bit of emotion in your eyes as well. You're a New South Welshman. How much does this mean? You know every single... You go upstairs and for free, you give a talk to the members before the game. How much does this mean to this organisation?
Well, it took me about 8 years to win them over as an ex-Sydney Kings player, I'll give you that truth. But I'll tell you, it does feel like family down here. This region is really behind their team, and I felt that every time. About 8 years ago, there was 1,000 people in this gym, and it was really hard times, and you worried for Illawarra, but they never gave it away. Their passion was outstanding, and in this last 18 months, we've seen in that pre-game, like you talked, probably 6 people, and one of those was Chuck Harmison, and probably his other 5 with his family, right? But then you look at that, there would have been 200 people up there today, and they've absolutely loved it. And I'm proud that I can say and see these Illawarra people in the region, they just love their team.
I appreciate everything you've done out here for them as well, I'm sure, Brad. Will Hickey. Now, there was a contentious decision. Of course, the voting system that comes about in the finals made Matthew Dellavedova the MVP. When you go through the votes, he was a worthy MVP. But when you're the losing team, it always feels wrong that it goes that way. So gracious in defeat was he, Peter Hooley, that he walked over and gave his trophy to what most would say was probably the deserving winner in Will Hickey.
For sure, I mean, that's a very special moment. That's going to go down in history as a very special moment because, honestly, it's probably going to be the reason why the voting for this MVP changes. I think you look at it, and again, game by game, and they've listed every single one of the votes, you can understand it. Maybe Davo Hickey didn't have the impact that he did in the last couple of games at the start where Delhi was consistent. So when it comes in the play-by-play, game-by-game, you can understand. But you're right, if you do it at the end of the series, it would have been unanimous. Davo Hickey was the reason the Illawarra Hawks won. That was an unbelievably special moment. So outstanding him, but also massive shout-out to Matthew Dellavedova. That is not easy to do. When you've got the crowd where everybody believed that it should have been Davo Hickey from the jump, to do it to the way he did, that's the class of a human being. So congratulations to both of them.
Absolutely, congratulations. Well, we got to give a shout-out to these fans. Because a couple of years ago, this team was in last place. The fans still came out. They deserve to win. They're going to party all night, and I wish I could hang around to party with them, but I got to get on a plane.
I saw you trying to change your flight right there as soon as they won the night. But Brad, you touched on it as well. This means so much. We talk about the blue bloods of the league, the Perth, the Melbourne, the Sydneys. These guys have been the little brother, man. They've been put down, maybe not given the credit that they deserved. They've finally done it, and they've earned that respect right now. And there are so many people throughout the building, Pete, that this means a lot more than you can ever show on a broadcast too.
For real, I mean, again, in close to us, our colleague Damon Lowry, he's in tears in the crowd. And again, to be part of this community, we wouldn't know what he's gone through in the last 24 years, even winning the title himself, but it's a special moment. You're trying to soak it all in. It's going to be a very long few. They might sleep once in 2 weeks, let's be honest.
If that. Look, I want to give credit to Coach Tatum. I think Tatum's the one who was the head of the snake. He spoke about this team from day one, and he didn't want any of this underdog or anything about that. He was like, we want to be number one, and you come and get us, not we're the underdog and let's see what we can do. All year he was like that. There was some times he was aggro and he wanted to go at different people, but a shout out to obviously the Coach of the Year because he won that, but also Coach Tatum was great.
Melbourne United back-to-back Game 5 championship losses. Bernard, you've won championships the year after you lost before. Melbourne United, not uncharted territory, but not a lot of teams lose 2 in a row in such fashion. How do you bounce back next year?
Well, look, they're feeling bad right now. Of course they are. But this Melbourne United are a championship team. To get to this level 2 years in a row means they're doing something right. This game could have gone any way, Brad, but Illawarra deserved to win it.
Well, what an unbelievable NBL 25 season. Peter Hooley, Brad Rosenlund, Copeland, Andrew Gaze, Derek Rucker, Jack Heverin, to everybody who's worked across the broadcast throughout the year. Joe Healy was fantastic tonight. Everybody behind the scenes. When we work in the hub, we really get a sense of how many people it makes to turn this travelling circus into NBL 25. We thank everybody at home who you've been unbelievable for your support non-stop on socials, watching the games, spreading everything. Absolutely, from top to bottom, this season has brought everything. And I'll tell you what, we said it in NBL 24. What on earth is going to happen in NBL 25? Surely we can't match it. Well, I think throughout the year, then we damn near did. NBL 26 is going to bring a whole lot more. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to see a little bit more, stay tuned to the NBL socials, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. We're going to be going live right away. We will see you all next year.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.